No, not.
Nobody. The fact that you guys have that long of a conversation about what it is, you don't need to.
Yeah, most people don't know what it is, so I'm just like, I don't bother you. My mom's like, can I put it on Facebook? I'm like, you can, but no one's gonna know what it is.
That's not true. Oh, man, your mom's sweet. Put it on Facebook.
That's a good mom.
Yeah.
People in the community, I'm in the community.
You are not the person I expected to see at the door when it was being locked, I can tell you
I
that.
have to update my card for you that you have on file.
Okay.
That one got shut down, so I have a new one to replace it.
We will happily take that,
No,
my
I'm
friend.
on enough stuff today for my head.
Not a problem.
I told Joni, but she said payment might reach out to me, but I haven't heard it, seen it, heard it anyway, so.
Yeah. You know what? Just I'll grab it from you when we get you guys off into a writing process, and I'll get it updated.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate that. All right, guys, let's get started. This is our first momentum. Is that right? Mm-hmm. All right, you guys are in for a treat. Oh my God, you're gonna love these.
I wasn't here last time, so I don't know if I'm sure I missed a lot of good stuff.
Yeah, you did. Did you watch the videos?
No, not yet.
All right.
You want to record, man?
I am recording.
All right,
Yep. But thank you for reminding me, and you can remind me as many times as you like, because
This is gonna be because it's important.
yes, I have not got a very good track record on remembering to record content.
It is me. It's all right.
Oh, there we go. We're good. All right, guys. Let's begin. It is 1 o'clock sharp, so we start with or without everybody else. So, welcome to Momentum. This is our first Momentum session. Here is how Momentum sessions work. I think you're going to like them a lot. In fact, we actually have comments from a lot of our clients that say that the Momentum sessions, in many cases, are actually more valuable than the actual main day sessions, simply because this is like we really roll up our sleeves and we get to work. Purpose of a Momentum session is very similar. We try to do what it says on the label. It's a momentum session to keep the momentum going. It is so easy to lose your momentum in between sessions that we want to make sure we keep that up and rolling, right? And you guys will, I'm sure, have some confessionals today that will show you that we really do need, we probably have a momentum session every day to keep the momentum going. But let's talk a little bit about what our objective is here for the day, because I want to make sure that we're really clear about today's goal. Number one, it is not a place to catch up on your emails. So if your laptops are open and your email is open, I would recommend you just shut it down right now, turn off the alarms, put it to do not disturb. It'll be way too tempting when we are in silent writing for you to go, well, this is a good opportunity for me to get caught up on my emails. Yeah, you're right, it is, but it's also a terrible opportunity gone to waste for how you can maximize your benefit from this program. So do not answer your emails. Just shut off the temptation completely. Number two, it's not an opportunity to play around on or participate in social media. So just turn off your Facebook page, get rid of those alarms. It's just not worth the interruptions. It's too tempting to get in there. It's also not time for you to clean up your electronic filing and go, hey, wow, this would be a great day for me to clean all that crap on my desktop off. You can tell we've done a couple of these momentum sessions. We've looked over the shoulders of our clients before. We know all the games, okay? Yeah. It is not a time for you to chit-chat and distract others. Even if you don't want to play the game, don't distract other people from getting in the game. And it's also, oddly enough, not a time for you guys to set goals. It's a time for you to get goals, right? So this is not your time to sit there and plan on getting shit done. This is a time for you to get shit done. It's also not a time to prepare to do anything. It's a time to do things, right? So now, having said that, we could probably split that to different levels because we are going to be working a lot on our outlines today, which essentially is preparing for writing. But we're actually getting the things done versus preparing for writing the outlines, which is what most of you have been doing for the past 2 weeks. So having said that, if we're clear on what we don't want to get done, what do we want to get done? We want to move the ball down the field. Hey, Louis, I got to tell you, man, great write-up in the TBBJ this morning.
I was happy. I
Yeah.
didn't even know.
Well
So
done.
They called me like,
Congratulations, dude.
Yeah, well done, man. Big, not front page, but full page, if I'm not mistaken, or 3/4 of a page.
yeah, I haven't seen it yet, so.
I'll get you the copy. I've read it online, but I know it's in the print version, so yeah, it looks good. In fact, here, I'll just show you his article because it's right here in my handy dandy TBBJ app.
And you have the internet as well, right?
Yes. Here is the journal, and look at that, man. Got a full page.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Woo!
Yeah, they took a picture last week. And the funny thing, I make on there that the office has a pool.
Uh-huh.
Last Friday, they tore it out.
That's funny. All right. Here we go. All right, so today's really about moving the ball down the field. It's about getting caught up. It's about getting refocused. Some people have argued in the past, they go, I don't need to take time out of my day to come sit with you for 4 hours to get shit done. But guess what?
We do.
You do. You really do, right? There's tremendous value in just getting away. This is something, in fact, this will be one of my new Business Minute videos, which is I want to encourage you guys to start training yourselves to get out of your office on a regular basis. If for no other reason than to make sure that your staff is not dependent upon you making decisions for them. It is amazing, and Don, you can probably be the best testimony of this because you got so many people around you all day long. It is amazing how stupid your staff becomes when you're in the office. They'll just ask you for the lamest things that you don't need to be a part of, that if you weren't there, they would use the neurons in their brain to come up with the solutions on their own, and it would be just fine for a decision. But we just sometimes train our employees to just think, to not think and depend on us. So just...
I'm not the only one that feels that.
Oh yeah, no man, it's everybody has that. Yeah.
That's such a fact.
So if you can just start disciplining yourself to get out of the office, even if you're doing the same shit you do at the office, at a coffee shop or at a business club or anywhere else, you'd be surprised how much more dependent your staff starts to become. And that's going to be essential as you start to scale your business, because you can't keep doing the same things you're doing anyway. So it's just good plan. So that's what this is for. This is about helping you guys to get out of your office. But if you've got that electronic umbilical cord tied to them to where they can text you every 2 seconds, email you every 2 seconds, hit you on your social media, and you're not really out of the office, it's not going to help you anyway. So this is really, I'd encourage you guys to just shut off your internet. You don't really need it unless you're going to be doing some research today. And you may be doing that. It's a valid reason. But we really just want to stay focused. Again, you can follow us on KPI Tampa, KPI Method is the hashtag. Or you can also follow me on at Topher Morrison. If you have a phone, take it. Please put it on to silent or to vibrate or to do not disturb. Do not disturb would be the best. Face down is always good too, unless you're like me and you've turned every single alarm off, so it doesn't do jack shit. And I love that. All right, let's also going to introduce a concept today called Little Wins. So one of the things we like to do is celebrate on what kind of wins you guys have had over the past couple of weeks. It can be related specifically to the KPI topics, like what have you done with your pitching that has worked. It can be specifically related to publishing, but it also can be just any kind of wins that you'd like to have cool people celebrating your success with. So I'll kick off and start. I had a little win today. I launched my new video series called Tampa Bay Business Minute. So later, not now, if you can find that on Facebook and you could share it and you like it, I'd be grateful for that. And I tried a new thing, which is Facebook loves live video more than recorded video now, but I've already recorded these videos. So I found a software hack that lets me play videos live. So I've already got 300 views already on it or something like that now, because they just keep pushing it up to the top. So we'll see how many times I can do that before they put me in Facebook jail. But I think if I have a live talk at the beginning and a live talk at the end, it should be cool with it. But so that was my big win, or my little win for the week. Anybody want to share any little wins? Oh, and I got another one. I picked up my forms for running for mayor at the supervisors of elections. So yeah, it just got real. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Time to move.
Time to get my ass in gear. All right, any wins? How's the pitch going?
Good.
Yeah?
I've been using the pitch. I've had actually 3 speaking engagements in the past week and a half, which is wild and crazy.
Yeah.
So in the downsizing of my business, that has opened up. And I've been getting more requests for a specific talk called Make to Think, which is part of
Called
this.
what?
Make to Think.
Okay.
And the tagline is whatever audience I'm speaking to.
Sure.
So Make to Think, HR's secret weapon to communication and problem solving.
Right.
Make to Think, discover and build the new future in product development. Okay, whatever.
Perfect, yeah.
So that's been really great, and the pitch has been the intro of how I introduce myself, because most people say, Michelle Royal, blah.
And they fuck up the intro, yeah.
Yeah, and then, so that has been really great.
Nice, awesome, well done.
Yeah,
Cool.
nice little win.
Yeah, anybody else?
You're aware of the company wins in general.
Share them. I'll tell you what.
Yeah, there's quite a few in the last week or so, but before we got to the big stuff, it's not necessarily a win. It was kind of like a light bulb moment, if you will. So Rob is out in California at the Honeywell conference, and we had a call yesterday with Decision One, which is one of the world's largest or larger integrators from an IT perspective. And on a sales conference call with the international contracts manager, Rob and I pretty much tag teamed off of each other on the phone with the pitch. And in mid-conversation, all onboarding and NDA documentation came over as we were doing what we needed to do and telling them what we were capable of doing, how we were capable of doing it.
Like they were listening to it going, yep, this is what we want, send it to
They
them.
were sending documents over to us to, wow, we didn't know that was what you did, or, and documents were coming as we were speaking.
That is badass.
It's very rare that happens. Usually it's a 2-day, 3-day, hey, based on our conversation deal, she's like, oh no, I have this going on right now, you need to sign this. Oh, and I have this, so you might as well sign this too, while we were on things, so.
Hell yeah, man, that's a win.
So that was definitely a cool thing, again, with the things that obviously he's learned here, and I've only been here a little bit.
Yeah.
But we were certainly piggybacking off of each other of the principles of what we've done pitch-wise, and it definitely worked.
Yeah, we had partnership day last Friday, and Sean, you're the COO?
I am on the CEO track. I'm the VP of Global Operations.
Okay, VP of Global Ops, and then we had Sean as the COO.
CFO.
CFO.
Financial.
So Sean was going through KPI10, and he came back into the room, and he's like, and I go, Sean, you want to share with you, blah, 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 and he goes, I'm a little shook up right now, but let me try and see if I can deliver it, and I'm like, oh shit, so I didn't want to ask him what it was, because I thought maybe he got a bad family call or whatever, and then the day's over, and I go, you okay, buddy? And he goes, yeah, it's like good shook up, and I go, tell him what it was.
So we, our organization is basically a professional services firm. It has all sorts of arms. John, you know this because you're doing a lot of marketing material. So there's security, there's IT, there's managed services, there's voice and data. We have been working with one of the larger hospital systems in this area locally for access control and security systems and so on and so forth. And the reason that they liked us is we were integrating their security system with their IT system. So we're not just a camera system or an access control system where things beep and bob and you call an ADT number and you say, hey, send the police, right? We're integrating that into their IT solution. We, over the course of the last couple of months, again with pitch and proposal and meeting after meeting, they advised us on Friday that we are their sole provider of IT and access control security systems at over 300 facilities nationally. So it's a very
big day.
It was a big day.
Yeah.
So, Sean left here and met us at the bar.
Yes.
So.
Yes. Yeah. I'd imagine he did. Yeah.
So,
Congratulations.
Yeah, it's massive.
Wild moment, yeah. And that was and that one was epic, along with probably $11 million of additional awards that we all received in the same week. So yeah, it was a very large week.
I think that counts as a little win.
Yeah, it's definitely more in the big win category. Yeah,
Yes.
no.
So it was definitely an epic week.
Yeah, when they started with KPI, they were about a $3 million company, and next year, if you guys play your cards right, 30 to 50 million.
We just added, just in the last week on an annual revenue basis, just in the last week added an additional annual revenue of $12 million.
Yeah. It's just insanely high growth.
I mean, obviously, it was things that led up to that during the course of the week. And again, because you were dealing with Rob, I wouldn't be working here if Rob hadn't come here. I mean,
Yeah.
that's an honest fact,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
The things that you taught Rob and teaching him how to, rely on others and again, get away from the office so others can do what you think that you should be doing.
Yeah.
Our office, they had 5 or 6 people.
Yeah.
We have 30 in 11 months.
Yeah, you guys were
That
already
office-
outgrown the office that you just
it's
remodeled.
insane.
Yeah.
It's absolutely insane. So, there's a lot of good stuff going on.
Yeah, it's cool.
It's exciting.
Love it. Anybody else want to share any wins?
Really, after that?
Yeah.
I know.
It's not a competition.
Sean just ran
That's
all
huge.
our
That's
marketing
awesome.
business. So
That's a good deal, because believe me, you'll get a lot of money from them. Yeah.
and that's another thing that came out of this with Rob,
Uh-huh.
right? And obviously we don't know what we're getting out of Sean yet because he just finished, right?
Yep.
But again, knowing what you can't do and knowing what you have to delegate to others, right? We know we can't do the marketing in-house. in-house. It's why we came to you. And that is why you're working on those things that you're working on. A year ago, those are things that internally they probably would have tried to.
We could design our own logo. We could do our slogans.
We
Yeah.
can figure out how to get it on this and that and this and on this documentation and just beat their heads against the table.
Yeah.
Those days are long over.
Yeah. Yeah, good. Well done.
Nice.
I heard a great quote yesterday. We did a CEO social, and we had a lady there who's she does a concierge service. I really hope we get her to sign on as a client. I think she'd be perfect for us, and she could probably make a mint just selling her services to all of our clients as well. But she had a really good quote. She said she was doing her pitch, which was adequate to good, but the one line which was amazing, she said, if you do something and it doesn't bring you joy or it doesn't make you money, it should be on our to-do list, not on yours. And that was just, I loved that. And think about that from scaling your business. If you're doing shit and it doesn't bring you joy or doesn't bring you money, get that off your list. It's just not worth it. Yeah. Yeah.
Should respond to all my emails?
What's that? They do everything. They will do everything from do your laundry to pick you up to book your airfare to answer your emails. Yeah, to handle your social media. She's got like over 80 independent contractors in all different things. You need a massage, she'll schedule one for you. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Beautiful.
Yeah. I'd be happy to put you in touch.
What a
Yeah.
value proposition. I mean, that's,
Isn't that great?
Yeah.
I was
It's
just like,
true, when you talk about productivity, that is the thing. If you're
yeah.
not
Oh, I'll share with you another win because you just reminded me. I was having my conversation with John today. So I finished. I think I've told you guys about the book Deep Work. We talked about that. I can't remember. Sometimes they roll together. So it has been now one solid week since I've turned off every single alarm on my phone. I don't get the little red dots. I don't get signals for anything.
Deep work?
Huh?
Deep work?
Yeah, deep work. The only thing that this thing does that makes a noise is when somebody calls on the phone. That's it, because it's a phone. And I have been more productive this week than I have in the past month, easily, in terms of quantifiably getting stuff done. But better than just being productive, I feel I'm more in control of my business and my life. Because I don't think you realize subliminally how it affects you when you're just trained to go like this as soon as the alarm hits. You're almost always waiting for that. And it's hard because when I start trying to get into my deep work, because my neurons are set up to be interrupted every 3 minutes, I'll start writing and then I'll just want to come over and my hand will go and I'll look at it. And there was a couple times where I would do that and then I just set it over and just set it away. And sometimes I would take the phone and put it in another room. But now I'm to the point where, and it's been only a week, so it goes really fast, I don't really even feel the temptation to pick it up and to look at the messages. And I'll check my messages 2 or 3 times a day, not 2 or 3 times an hour. And and the weird thing is that you don't realize how much recovery time it takes to just get back into the flow after this. Because I'm not doing that, I'm getting just a shit ton done. And I can't highly recommend it enough. I would encourage you, I know it'll scare the crap out of you thinking you're going to go crazy if you don't, but if you just turn off every single, and y'all know how to do that on your phone, just go to notifications, turn it off, and
It's called a hammer.
yeah, it's called a hammer, yeah. But I tell you what, man, I'm loving it. I'm loving life. All right, cool. Let's talk about your pitch. So real quickly, your pitch. You got 2 of them that we've already worked on so far. We've worked on your quick pitch, and we worked on your social pitch. Your quick pitch is very simple. It's name, same, claim to fame. That is step 1 inside the capstone pitch. A couple quick reminders with your name. You want to remember to slow down, enunciate so people can hear that strangeness of your business. Then you want to go for the same, which is the generic component. Hey, Caesar, how you doing, buddy? And then you want to share what it is your claim to fame. Your name, same, claim to fame. That's step 1. Takes less than 15 seconds. Let's hear it.
Oh, I'm up first?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. My name is Patty Soltis. I'm the owner at Style Edge. As an image consultant, my quest is to work with alpha professionals to make sure that they are projecting a look that radiates competence, confidence, and success.
Done. Get rid of the word quest. It sounds like you're trying to do it versus actually doing it.
Okay.
Good. I love it. Go for it.
John Sarakis with Revival Agency. We're a digital marketing agency that works with small to medium-sized businesses. We're known to take $1 invested and turning it into $5 invested.
Nice.
My name is Fred Mastro-Pastor, the co-founder of Clearly Agile. We're a custom software development shop. We specialize in delivering working software into your hands every 2 weeks.
Nice.
We're the president of L&T Associates, IT service company. We provide IT services for medium-sized companies, IT staffing, pre-deployment, and Office 365.
Okay. Caesar.
Hi, my name is Cesar Hernandez, Managing Director of Publicus, and we are public affairs and strategy firms that helps new ideas and concepts be introduced into the marketplace and help to navigate and maneuver them so they can go to the next level.
Nice.
Hi, I'm Don Billy. I'm the VP of Global Operations for Source One Solutions. We specialize in the on-site local IT support for Fortune 100 companies.
Cool.
My name is Grant Smalley. I'm the president of Lending Associates, and we finance private aircraft, high-end RVs, and yachts in the $100,000 to $4 million price range.
Nice.
Michelle Royal, founder of Ridge, and we exclusively work with technology executives to help them inspire their teams and grow their customers by giving them a heartbeat to their vision and feet to their ideas.
Normally not a slogan kind of guy in pitches, but I like that one. All right,
I like
cool.
it.
Because it creates a picture on my brain.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe pause. Hi, I'm Stacy Soley. I'm the owner of Healthy Weight Naturally, and I help entrepreneurial moms lose weight without spending all their time in the kitchen or gym.
Good. Awesome. Guys, I love those pitches. They're really cool. As far as feedback goes on any of them, Caesar, we're going to get rid of the next level phrase out of your pitch. It's one of those phrases that is empty. It sounds good but means nothing. But other than that, I liked it. Everything else, cool.
Can I give one feedback?
Yeah.
Little slurry for me.
Yeah.
I didn't catch your business name, and then I had a hard time.
Good feedback.
So don't drink before this?
Don't drink, man. Just like, I know you want to relax because you're going to work, but just don't.
Yeah, that's vodka inside that bottle. All right. Good feedback. Good feedback. All right, a couple things to do to make sure that you really guys are nailing your pitch, because the one thing we don't want to have you guys do is just stop practicing it now, which is very easy to do. So take that pitch and write it out and get it on your mirror at home, just so when you're sitting there
Done.
brushing your teeth, you can read it. Yep.
And you know what? You're right. That is the greatest thing when you're brushing your teeth. Like brushing your teeth.
You're a captive audience,
blow drying
man.
my hair.
Yeah.
Like
Next
it's
thing you
right
know,
there.
He's going to have us do the bend and snap. I'm just saying.
The what?
Picture behind you. Hello, it's Reese Witherspoon from Legally Blonde.
Oh, sorry. Hi.
Yeah.
Totally missed that one.
Next thing you need to do with your pitch, bend and snap.
Don't even remember that from the movie. All right. A couple things. Make sure you consistently record your pitch. When you record your pitch and you listen to it, you will hate it. You'll judge yourself harder than anybody else could, and you'll hear those things like slurring of a phrase or something. So definitely, it's worth doing that. Also, pitch to your team, man. Get on the phone with you guys. Just call each other up, text each other. Go, hey, I want to practice my pitch. I know it sounds corny and weird, but when you get somebody who listens, like Michelle does, she'll give you straight up feedback and go, yeah, that was too quick. Got to slow it down. Stuff like that really does help. Introduce something called the 3-foot rule. Anytime you're within 3 feet of somebody, see if you can find a way to get your pitch out. Where you're at, where we go. Easiest way to do that is just ask them what they do, because they'll tell you, and then as a courtesy, they'll ask you, what do you do? And then you can throw out your pitch, okay? And if you got time, you can deliver them your entire social pitch. The social pitch is 8 steps. Remember, we only went through 6 steps inside the program. We gave you the homework to get the other 2, which is your next steps and opportunity and next steps. There's videos inside the portal that go into great detail on how to do those, but you do want to make sure you have those things scripted out as well, because you never know when you're going to have an opportunity to not just pitch, but to pitch and create a call to action so people can do something. So if you can have that call to action, that's a very powerful thing, and you want to have that in there. So a good social pitch takes less than 3 minutes. Let's hear them. We'll start with Don. All right, let's start with Grant. Yeah.
Okay. Grant Smalley from Lending Associates, and President and CEO. And we finance boats, airplanes, and RVs in the $100,000 to $4 million price range. And over the last 8 years, we've grown our business from our small office in St. Petersburg, Florida, into a national presence where we have offices in Seattle, San Diego, and Miami. And over that time period, we've done about $500 million in loan originations. And I got into this business because I remember things like water skiing with my dad and camping with my kids, and taking control of an airplane for the first time. And so when I go to the office every day, I'm thinking, I'm not just writing loans, I'm preparing people for, actually, no, can I start over?
Mhm.
I've kind of got all that stuff. Actually, come back. Can you come back?
Sure. All right, Michelle.
All right. Hi, I'm Michelle Royal. I'm the founder of Ridge. We are a creative consultancy in St. Petersburg, Florida, and we exclusively work with technology executives, helping them inspire their teams and grow their customers at the same time by giving them a heartbeat to their vision and feet to their ideas. Now, I have been in this industry for over 20 years and have worked with roughly 50,000 people around the world. Some of our clients include Salesforce, Deloitte, and we are one of the exclusive vendors to work with the internal teams and external customers of Disney. We found that these executives are facing three major challenges. The first is that they hire incredible talent, and there's just not a lot of direction, and so there ends up being a lot of wasted resources. The second is what I call a decision-making rut. No one knows what to do, what by when. And then the third is probably the most damaging, is the siloed, not my job mentality that creates low morale and ultimately affects the client relationship. We solve these problems in three distinct ways using a simple using a simple 5-step method, and here are some of the outcomes. First is that we have a corporate artist help cast a very clear vision for the company. Second is we design a clear path of action and decision making. And the third is that we help infuse and inspire the talent through innovation practices so that they can further develop solutions for the customers. Now, I know the importance of being able to overcome these challenges because when I was a young child, my dad came across an opportunity. We were poor, bankrupt, living on a farm, and my dad worked 3 jobs. He learned about Subway sandwiches. Some of you may have heard about it. There was one franchise in Little Rock, Arkansas. So he went to the corporate office and met with an executive, and he had to go through a rigorous 2-day interview process. The executive, empowered with decision-making, saw the declined credit report from my father and said, you know what, I could be this guy's second chance for his family and maybe for our company. So he tore up the credit report, threw it in the trash, and that was the day that my life changed. So I personally know the power that an executive can have on the lives of thousands of people, and I believe that it's the most important work that we can do today. And I've loved this work so much over the years, and our clients, I think that they feel the same, but they've told us that they feel more excited about the future, more confident to be able to solve any problem, and ultimately grateful for the deep client relationships that they built.
Well done.
A little long.
It's 2 minutes and 46 seconds, so it's
a little
good.
choppy.
Yeah, no, it's good.
Okay, great.
Yeah. The one thing I'd like to hear on that is the effect of what ripping up that credit card did, and that changed my life because my family ended up going on to owning 300 Subway sandwiches or however. Yeah, that'd be kind of cool.
I think before we took it out, that fact out, because it was really long in other areas. So I'll put that
back in. You can do that in 10
I like
seconds.
how you shortened it though, because I haven't heard it since the
No,
very
me too.
beginning,
Yeah, I
so
loved how
really-
you've pulled
I
some of
felt
that
like
stuff.
it
You can
tied
even
together.
edit that story down a little bit more, but I liked it.
I could change it. Yeah.
No, it's good.
Okay.
I'm a little jealous how clear and concise you are.
You shouldn't be, because it was because of our work that we did to get that foundation.
Yeah, that was wonderful. But yeah, I mean,
I
you
liked
can
it,
tell you
yeah.
public speak. I mean, it's obvious.
I
Yeah,
also stood. It stand the same effect.
it helps. It definitely helps. Yeah. All right, Fred, let's hear yours.
Cool, man. All right. I haven't practiced mine in a little while, so. My name is Fred Master-Pascal. I'm the co-founder of Clearly Agile. We're a custom software development shop, and we specialize in delivering software into your hands every 2 weeks. I have over 20 years experience in the IT industry, and I built a multi-million-dollar product for a $5 billion a year company that's still running today. The problem that companies face is that they have new products or systems that they want built, or systems they want integrating and talking to each other, but they have manual processes in place that they want to automate. These companies then spend a lot of money having custom software built that may deliver what was asked for, but doesn't actually deliver what to solve their problem. In addition, they can't tell good software from bad software, and so they usually are unaware that they're paying for something that's going to fail in their heavy usage. We solve that problem with our 4-step process, which allows us to understand all their needs, determine the best solution, and give them the ability to change direction quickly. It allows them to always see how their money is being used and be engaged as much or as little as they are comfortable with. I believe that companies and business owners get taken advantage of when it comes to building to technology and the process of building custom software, but also, let's say that again. I believe companies and business owners not only get taken advantage of when it comes to technology and the process of building software, but they're also not given all the information to make the right decision. For years, I've worked on teams where all the information to a client always flowed through a salesperson or an account manager who would only pass on the positive news. I would identify problematic areas with the current solution or identify better ways to deliver the client's need, but that information would never make it back to the client. I've seen issues manifest too late in the process to easily remedy, and I've seen clients run out of money before their product was complete on things that could have been completely avoided if they had had all the information at the time. That is why I believe in involving the client every step of the way and being open and honest about the good and the bad aspects of how a project is going, no matter how scary that might feel to me. I want to provide transparency every step of the way so that our clients can have all the information they need to make the right decisions and deliver a quality product, not just on the surface, but in every line of code. Our clients feel proud of what we deliver to them, working together and giving birth to their brainchild.
Well done.
I really liked all of it, and then when you started in the authentic why, it got a little lost for me.
Yeah, I felt like you went back and started talking about problems and solutions. Yeah. So
but
we
there
can
was a
clean
moment
that.
where you said, I believe that a client should, have the problem and the honesty, and that's why it's important to me. I thought that was really great.
Yeah.
There's like a line in there when I was like, that's it. That's what I want to hear. That's what
I was whether I should make up a story.
No, it's fine. Keep it real. The one thing when you went back and like you said, kind of recircled back to the problem and the solution, the way you phrased two problems in there, I like the way you phrased them there better than when you were talking about the problems up front. So we might actually want to just axe the stuff up front and bring that in and put it in. Yeah. Yeah. Well done. I forgot to time it, by the way. I'm sorry. Yep. All right. All right. Patty, you want to go?
Yes, I will go. And I am rewriting the beginning of mine, so I'm going to read a little bit of it to you guys so you can hear, because I'm trying to shorten it just a little bit. And then there was a point in time where I just can stop and go right into it. And much like you, I've done several speaking engagements in the last couple weeks, and it's like the most awesome introduction. Like, it makes it so much easier. And I've also turned this into my introduction on LinkedIn.
Cool. Yeah.
So easy.
Yeah. The whole thing, or just the clarity part?
Just the clarity. I've cherry picked it.
The capstone pitch, I'm telling you, has so much flexibility. You can just take bits and bobs and put them in bios and intros and
Yeah.
Go for it.
So, I'm Patty Soltis, owner at Style Edge. As an image consultant, I work with alpha business leaders to establish credibility to their audience without saying a word. A first impression is made far too quickly, and too often professionals are unaware, insecure, or indifferent about this and its lasting effects. My job is to ensure this impression is one of power, competence, and confidence. My background in retail management for over 20 years, mostly as a vice president general manager for companies such as Neiman Marcus, combines my knowledge of business, fashion, and image. In the last few years, I've worked with hundreds of professionals on their image, spoken at multiple conferences and companies, and appeared in television and in print. A professional spends hours pulling together a presentation, years trying to land a big client, and then the moment comes where they have to decide what they're going to wear. Once again, that first impression is made in seconds, so you want to make that count, and too often the professional is left with, they don't know what to do. So here's the solution. When a professional uses my 5 modes of dressing, they know with certainty that they're going to stride into the room with confidence. They can then spend their time on the bigger aspects of their job, including landing the client, developing client relationships, and overall building their business. The reason I do this is very personal to me, and I could talk about the professional reasons a lot, but I really just want to go into the personal side, and that is that I spent years climbing the corporate ladder. And during this time, I gave up a tremendous amount of my time to spend on my professional career instead of spending time with my family. A 10-minute phone call with my parents who were aging became really difficult. My mom was having health problems. My nephews were growing up far too quickly, and my marriage had failed. So during this time, I decided that I was the proverbial gerbil on the spinning wheel and needed to jump off. And my solution provides professionals the ability to spend that quality time with their friends and family while building their business to success. If you talk to clients at Style Edge, they are energized, enthused, and excited about their results and love what it shows in their bottom line.
Well done. Good job. 2 minutes, by the way. So good timeline.
Yes.
Good time,
I
real
have
good
one
time.
feedback if I
Yeah,
may.
That's
yeah, please.
awesome.
You had me all the way up until, so here's the, I think you said, so here's the solution.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
that
want to
down.
work on something a little more smooth
That one
for
kind
that
of-
transition.
I don't know
I'll
how to
give you the transition.
see it, but
Yeah. Here's the
I
transition.
solved this by.
Yeah,
I like that
that's
better
it.
because.
Yeah.
Okay,
I solved that
I solved this
problem.
by?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
because
And
you
when you
said,
get
"So
big
here's
enough,
the
you can say,
solution,"
"We
it
solved
kind of
that problem by,"
Made me
yeah.
feel like you're pushing it on
Yeah.
me.
Yep.
And I also think that.
But I
just
liked everything else.
Because of the world that you're in, that the solution was something like a 5-step method or something like that. That sounds way too long for me going into a closet and making a decision. I almost feel like it needs to be the 5-second something. We take you through a simple process that allows you to make a decision in 5 seconds with
I
the
like
wearer.
that.
I really like
Something
that.
like that. So you do something though that
Okay.
like makes it, so I open my closet, 5 seconds, I'm done. I
Okay.
know what, or the 5 categories of dressing, or the something where,
That's cool.
like, 'cause
Yeah,
I
I
imagine
agree, 'cause I felt
you
this.
wardrobe people, and then they have things they wear for situations, and you have that set for them. But
Yeah.
it takes their decision making, and I also think that you need to use the word impress instantly. You say first impressions, something in the very beginning, and you need to say something about instant impressions. or-
Impress instantly. is
Yeah.
what you I like that.
Because my question on that is that I do talk about how quickly a first impression is made in seconds.
Yeah.
Oh, I
it's-
see what you're- okay,
I
yeah.
understand It's
Yeah.
too long.
Um,
First impressions are actually made instantly. It's not even seconds, right? I mean, because I see you and it's already judged, and then I say something
Yeah.
in my head.
Yeah, it's tricky because the first impression is made in either a tenth of a second or 7 seconds. You can pick
Right,
which
so
one
that's
it is.
instant.
It's like fast.
It's instant.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, in people terms. In a fly's terms, or it's-
Yep, I like that. There was one other thing I wanted to say. You did a preamble. You said I could tell you about all the professional reasons why, but I really want to talk about the personal.
Yeah,
Just talk about
I
it.
flubbed
That's
that
all right.
part.
No worries, that's all
Totally
right.
flubbed that part.
That's all right. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Any other feedback, guys?
What about like asking a question in your pitch that you just answer? Like how quick are impressions made? Instantly.
Yeah.
You know,
It's usually a longer way to say the statement.
Yeah,
So I'm not really a fan of it usually, but
Yeah.
there's been times where people have found a way to really use it effectively. It just sometimes almost looks too presentational versus conversational.
or informational, or like infomercial. How long does it take to make an impression? Instantly.
Yeah.
which is a pitch, and this.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's a draw-in, right? So like somebody, I don't know.
Yeah, right time, right place, and usually questions don't fit inside a social pitch. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's questions.
That's all it is one big question.
All right, who's next? Lewis.
All right, ready.
By the way, quickly, that article in TBBJ, is that the result of our man Caesar over here at Publicus? Well done, buddy.
All
Good,
right.
good job.
Been working
Brilliant.
on it for a long time.
Yeah, it was nice. It was a good
I had a
article.
text message from my girlfriend goes, "You're 34."
Remember when I lied 4 years ago when we met?
What?
Yeah.
Woo! So
That's
never
funny.
needed it was.
All right, go for it, Lewis.
All right, my name is Louis Ortega, president of Ortega & Associates. We're an IT service company that provides deployment services, IT staffing, and managed services to Office 365. We work with companies between 5 to 75 employees to deploy their IT equipment, supplement their IT staffing, and help them transition to use Office 365 in their business. We have worked with several of the largest school districts in Florida, state agencies, and universities. We worked along with some of the large manufacturers like HP, Lenovo, and Lexmark, and recently started working with Clear Touch Technologies. We've been in business for 11 years. We have three offices throughout the state, and over the last 2 years, we have deployed over 30,000 devices. We solve 3 problems: not a lack of staff, not enough time, or the ability to maintain their IT equipment. Business owners also worry about if they're utilizing technology correctly to advance the productivity of their business. We have a statewide team that can deploy their IT equipment and also help them on site with their IT needs. We have a dedicated team also to monitor and maintain their IT environment. I created a company because I remember I wanted to give individuals a beginning start in the IT realm. I remember graduating college and not be able to land a job because I didn't have the experience or the knowledge to be hired. And I said, I want to make a change so we can give a career path for IT technicians
to grow within our company or grow within the industry. And customer service has always been the number one factor within our company.
Well done. Good job. Good hand. It's a minute and a half, so good length.
Slow it down, just a tad.
Yeah, should have been two.
Sometimes when you get excited, you start just rambling
Yeah,
on.
if
Yeah.
you stood up and just had that, you know, shoulders back, chest up, and even if you were reading it, you might enunciate, because it's really powerful what you talk about. Your word choice is really good. I just wanna,
Right.
I wanna,
I want to be able to hear it.
Yeah.
I didn't even get your first name.
I'm
But
afraid
Yeah.
to say companies something. I miss whatever that word was.
yeah, so slow down. Cool. Caesar.
My name is Cesar Hernandez, and I am the Managing Director of Publicus. And we are a public affairs and strategy firm that specializes in working with small businesses and entrepreneurs that want to introduce new concepts and ideas into the marketplace. And we do this by engaging three of the most important elements, and that is government, industry, and media. Now, the reason why I'm so passionate about being able to navigate these elements is because I received an MBA at Brown University, as well as a certificate of disruption theory from Harvard Business School. And what we found when working with small businesses and new concepts is they have three major challenges. And that is, number one, brand recognition within the marketplace. Number two, how to educate the public or the market on a new concept or idea. And number three, how to navigate government so that it is your ally and not your enemy. So we have developed a three-step proprietary method that will enhance the image of the company they're working with within the marketplace, and also make sure that we are able to elevate their industry and be able to enhance their narrative within the market. Now, the reason why I am so passionate about this is a bit personal for me. So by the age of 21, I had been arrested 5 times and shot at twice, and ultimately ended up homeless. And the reason why I tie this together is because I understand what it's like to bootstrap your life, take nothing for granted, and capitalize on second chances. That's the mentality that I have when I approach my clients, because I am a rigorous advocate for them. And if you ask them, they will tell you that I make sure and I ask the impossible for them and make it the possible.
Well done. I forgot to time it, sorry.
I would, can I?
Yeah.
I would, when you, as you talk about your personal story, I don't even think you have to say the personal. I think you could say, as an entrepreneur and working with entrepreneurs, we know the value of second chances. My second chance was at age 21. I had already been arrested 5 times. I'd been shot at twice
I'm writing it down.
and landed in prison.
I think the second chance, though, applied to the customer.
Because he is a public relations firm that, and when he outlines the problems, the entrepreneur, in other words, he works with entrepreneurs that might be growing, but most of them don't know how to navigate that level of expertise that's going to give them that bump up or that chance or that new impression or that. I'd be very interested in how you transitioned your story. You know what I'm saying in that?
So here's my thinking on that. I just wanted to wait until you got yours out, because every
Yeah.
feedback she had was great. And here's another way of saying what she said instead of second chances, which does sound a little bit kind of
Yeah.
like, well, wait a minute, I don't need a second chance. I'm a
Yeah.
business owner.
But it's chance, I think. Is
Yeah,
the key.
I think maybe instead of second chance, say, I know what it's like to work when the odds are against me.
There you go.
Yeah.
Because that's something almost every business owner can relate to, is they feel like we've got the odds are against me in everything,
Mm-hmm. Right.
right? So you can say, you know, the reason why I'm so passionate about helping small business owners get ahead is because I know what it's like to have the odds against you.
I like how you
At
tied
age,
those two
at
together.
age 20, I've been arrested 5 times, been shot at twice, and was facing 15 years in prison for assaulting an officer or whatever, that whole thing, right? You know, and then you're just talking about like, you know, and then you can even maybe pause and just go. Actually, no, I wouldn't say that. But the one thing that I loved, I want to point out the thing that I loved there. When you got to one point in the why, you paused with such drama on 3 things. I can't remember what it was, but it was something about when I advocate for my clients, I da-da-da, da-da-da. And that little pause you put in there was so impactful. I think you owned the attention of everybody in the room by that powerful pause. So keep that in there. Yeah, but I think maybe rather than second chances, it's against all odds or against the odds. Yeah.
And then I want to hear how you went from, because you already told us you went to Brown.
I
Harvard.
liked that was up
Yeah.
front, because then it allowed me to go, how do I balance the fact that this guy is from Brown University and Harvard, and he was a criminal. How do I balance this? I love that.
I want to know the step. Like,
Yeah.
I want the Soprano step of,
The Soprano step, yeah.
From, criminal to someone did this for me, so I've walked that.
Here might be the connection.
People make the bridge.
Here's
He's
the
been
bridge.
there.
The bridge could possibly be that police officer saw something in me which wasn't necessarily evident.
Yeah.
And I've dedicated my life to finding the great things in my clients that they haven't figured out how to make evident.
Boom! Drop the mic.
My feedback, and this might change with their feedback, is that twice you said, I'm passionate about this because...
Yeah,
Yes,
he put that
thank
up too
you.
early in the beginning.
The reason is.
Yeah.
And the reason is. So
And
you
I
use that
immediately
word
thought,
first.
but you already said, I thought
Yeah.
you were passionate about this.
Yeah, he was during his identifying the problem. That's when he said it, and I was like, "Whoa, he's already up at the why." And then like, "Nope, he's back at the problem." Yeah, which a normal person would have known that, but there was two whys in there. All right, cool. Who else here? Stacey.
All right.
Welcome back, by the way. We missed
Thank
you at
you.
Publish Day.
I know.
Yeah.
Yep.
Ice skating with my daughter, so she trumps.
Yeah, I can.
Kids are
That's
sad.
all right.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So I have
Can't
not
compete with the
practiced a while,
daughter.
but I'm going to stand up. You stood up as well. So hi, my name is Stacey Soley. I'm the owner of Healthy Weight Naturally, and I help entrepreneur moms lose weight without spending all their time in the kitchen or gym. And in the past 5 years, I've coached and mentored over 500 women to lose weight. And I was recently chosen by the Health Coach Institute to also coach them as well so that they can build their own businesses. And the problem and challenges these women face is that they diet and they don't have enough time to spend all their time trying to do the juicing and cooking 3 healthy meals a day and working out. And so they get frustrated, they give up. They lose weight initially, and then they plateau, and then end up gaining all the weight back because they give up. And I solve this with my 7-step miracle technique that I have designed to help the clients spend less time in the kitchen and in the gym so they can lose the weight permanently and never have to diet again. And the reason why I'm so passionate about this is 5 years ago, my 9-year-old daughter almost died. She complained of a stomach ache, and at the time I was in corporate America, and I was so busy in my own personal career that I just thought it was just a stomach ache, and I didn't really take it much seriously. I took her to the doctor and thought, well, she's indigestion, and she said, just kind of normal kid stuff, and increase her fiber count, which is what a lot of doctors will tell you. And I said, well, all right, how do I do that? And she said, well, you just pick up the box and look on the back of the box and look at the fiber count and increase it. And at that moment, it was kind of a key moment of like, wow, we have a doctor, a specialist, who is recommending that I get my daughter healthy by actually feeding her processed foods. And I knew that there really had to be a better way. And that's when I really started my own journey to become a health coach. I started doing some research and finding out really what other ways that I could help her to become healthier. And along the way, in doing that research, I really felt that there had to be something else that was going on. And eventually what ended up happening is we found out through a naturopath that she had gallstones, and she spent her 10th birthday in the hospital getting her gallbladder removed. And if I had listened to all the rest of the other doctors, she would not be here with me today. So that is why I'm so passionate about what I do, and I really love helping other women become an advocate for their own health and for the health of their families. And if you were to speak to some of my clients, they would tell you it's like they've lifted, a coat's been lifted. They feel lighter, they feel healthier, and they feel more confident feeding themselves and working with their families as well.
Well done. That's fine. Sorry.
That's around 3.
Feedback?
I think you come off really approachable. Like, I'm like, oh, she seems really neat. Like, just super approachable. But I think you get a little sing-songy.
Yeah.
And is too.
Yeah.
But I really like how, I just feel like I could sit down and talk to you.
Good.
And like, diet, I feel like is something really personal,
Yeah.
and I feel
Yeah.
like I'd be really comfortable doing that with you.
Thank you.
That's a huge compliment because
Yes, thank you.
one of the things that women who offer women weight loss programs face is that whole judgment of, ugh, you're going to tell me how to lose,
Right,
that
exactly,
kind of whole
of
thing.
course.
So it's the fact that
Right.
you got that approachability is
Right,
good.
thank you.
Could you, instead of calling it your 7-step miracle technique, could you call it the 7-step miracle mom technique? I kind of think I think moms would go, I want to be a miracle mom, kind
That's
of thing.
cool.
Yeah,
I like
so
that.
just
Thank you.
thought that one. Yeah, cool. And I think we could probably still edit the story about the kid down a little bit,
Yeah.
but it's good. It's
Yeah,
good.
I
Anybody
agree.
else?
What was the
It's
thing
rough
you did
around the
at
edges.
beginning Where you said something, because you were saying you helped them lose weight, but then you said something about you helped them with their own businesses or something?
Yeah, that's what I was a little
Confused. Oh, I
missed
confused
that.
about that.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
are you doing a franchise? Then I thought, wait, maybe it's not.
Yeah, so part of what I was chosen to do is the same company that organization that I got one of my certifications through for the health coaching. They also hired me to be a success coach, and so I actually coach other health coaches.
Okay, I would rather hear you say that.
Okay.
I
It's confusing a little.
I
Okay.
am the health coach of health coaches.
Yeah. I actually
was
have been
hired-
certified to coach other health coaches or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because
It
then who would you rather
elevates
go
you.
to, a health coach or the coach who teaches the health coaches?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the build businesses part got me confused too.
Perfect.
And then I think you could even, in your story, talk about the role of moms. I mean, moms are warriors for their family. That's what they do. They're not so much for themselves all the time because
Right.
they give it all. So talk about that. You may know this. When it comes to your kid and you find out something's wrong and someone's not giving you stuff that you start questioning, you become a warrior, right? And everything else goes. So I don't know. I just feel like that's a really there's something about the mom experience, moms who work, moms who run the household, who are the we're
Right.
CEOs, we're CEOs and CEOs and CEOs. We have 3 full-time jobs. There's a cognitive load that we have that other people don't have.
Maybe,
I don't have children.
Maybe.
But I think there's something there about relating to the experience of mom and
Yeah, if you
Right.
stick with using the word warrior, if you stick with
Not
that,
that,
it's,
but-
no, but I like that. I don't know if you would, but if you say something like, I help women to not just become warriors for their children, but become warriors for their own lives as well, or something like
health.
that. I don't know. So, all right, cool.
Gotcha. Thank
Who's
you.
left?
you know your client better.
John, have you gone?
Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, all right, John.
Wait,
Really?
wait.
Yeah, Don will get there. We'll get back to that.
You wanna jump in?
I can read mine as a script, but
Wait.
I'm like a mess.
Good,
Sorry.
read it.
Yeah. John, you go first.
I want to try not to read mine. All right. God. I mean, it's easy, like I can give it, when I
Good John.
I wasn't a heavy metal band for 5 years. So that's what
There you go.
Yeah.
I cannot imagine him in a heavy metal band. I can't imagine visually. I can't imagine. Here I am. Rock me like a hurricane.
Yeah, exactly.
I just even the voice doesn't sound heavy metal.
Look at Sean.
All right.
It was a lot of screaming. It was a lot of screaming. So, hi there.
Hi.
My name is John Sarakis. I'm the CEO of Revital Agency. We're a digital marketing agency that works with small to medium-sized businesses. We're known to take $1 invested and turn it into $5 in return. Over the years, we've worked with over 1,000 companies and brands. The problem we help people with is I need more customers, I need more leads, I need more subscriptions, I need more engagement from my base. And we solve that by, she's writing something now. Not a distraction. We solve that by getting a really good understanding of who your customer is. So we dig in deep, and it's a series of interviews, a series of surveys, and really get a good understanding. And then we get a good understanding of what your company is, what your brand is, who you are. And man, I'm fucking this up.
You're all right.
It's all right.
That's okay.
I felt the same way. Actually, you're
Where
doing
are we
better
at
than you
here?
We
think.
didn't know that you were.
That's right. You're doing better than you think.
And then after Harvard,
I shot a man named Caesar.
That's it. That's it.
all right, let me just go ahead and read the rest of this.
You got it, buddy.
All right. We solve that by helping people understand their customer, who they are and what they want. We take the time to understand their business, creating content that speaks to their customer and get it in the places that they seek information. We then optimize their properties, such as their websites, to get found more, but most importantly, to convert whoever those visitors are into customers. I keep trying to edit this one, I'm not reading it. I got into this because in the downturn, my family lost everything. My father had a pretty successful construction company. A couple of companies survived. His wasn't one of them. So he and my mother had to look for work, but no one was hiring. They called and asked me for money a few times, which I went ahead and gave them, of course. But you have to understand that these are proud people. They lost their house, cars, retirement, and all this had an impact on me. So while I was working for another agency, I decided to start my own with a different goal. I wanted to create a company that generates income for small businesses, real income, not loans. My agency would help other companies market and sell more, and in turn they would increase revenue and grow. And in growing, they would need to staff and hire more people. And along the way, they would build a brand to help secure their future in the next downturn. And when you speak to our clients, they'll say just that. We help them. We help them grow. And yes, on account of that, they had to hire people. And some of those people are just like my parents.
I love that.
Cool.
I love that.
Good job.
Very personal.
I forgot to hit the timer, sorry.
I think I would pause a little bit on that. Like you almost just kind of said it real quickly. Like I would almost.
Almost like I read it.
Feedback.
So what
I
I
liked it,
wrote was you use the word base
Yeah.
with their base, which is jargony for
Yes.
me. So I would just say with their customers.
Okay.
And then I like understand, create, optimize, and convert. I think you could probably play it off so it sounds social and conversational. And like you're really clear on the problems and the solution. I'm like, yeah, that's wow. If you can get that to 3 to 5 words per without it being jargony or marketing.
Yeah, I get I will sometimes use buzzwords and things. I don't even realize it
Yep.
because I'm in that
We all
all
do.
the time.
Yeah, that's why it's important to do these things in front of other people.
Yeah.
Because they make you hyper aware of that stuff.
They're base, man. Though you were like slapping the base.
Base.
All right.
Base.
The base.
Lewis, I don't think you've given your social pitch, have you?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he
He
did.
was one of the who's great.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Okay,
amazing.
good. That's right.
Well, half the time is what Caesar says is, you don't know that I messed up, but since you don't know, I just keep going.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Well,
that's
so
true.
did I too.
Yeah.
It's like whatever. Yeah.
Don Biley. Billy.
Bill.
I'm gonna let you think it's Billy, but you've been wrong.
People have been telling me it's another name for as long as
Your
I've
whole
been on
life,
this
yeah.
planet, so I am going to read this for several reasons. So I'm Don Billy, and I'm the VP of Global Operations for Source One Solutions. Source One is a Clearwater-based IT professional services firm specializing on local, on-site commercial technical support on a global scale. Over the course of the last 18 years, I have received 5 certifications within the IT support industry as it relates to project management and manpower. We have been requested by the federal government to spearhead national server deployments as well as an international migration for the defense industry. Recognized by the Department of Homeland Security, Honeywell, and the Veterans Administration for exceptional contributions and the support of programs having a total contract value of over $285 million. I have found that the problem with most organizations is with the sorcery and wonder that is IT outsourced technical support are the extra costs associated with having to wait for that support travel from an out of geographical area to rectify their issue. This, in most cases, is for an initial assessment, which then can uncover a higher skilled resource that may be needed to rectify their issue, causing additional visits, cost, and extended downtime, in turn, which means less productivity. It is difficult to keep from being aggravated and frustrated when critical systems are down, and the phone is ringing from everyday users in non-technical departments advising that they have no connection to their machine, and it doesn't work, and they just want the magic box in the dark room fixed. Source One has teams in place that are certified in the labor practices and laws and have onboarded over 1,200 current just-in-time resources. Starting with major cities and working their way out from each predetermined radius, our team is built based on the technology footprint of the end customer. This enables Source One to have an on-site resource to troubleshoot or determine a technical issue within 4 hours of the time of service that of the call has been placed, ensuring quicker uptime in a more cost-effective manner, performed by local talent to ensure there will be a bright light to that dark room to keep your business running to its full potential. I believe that an issue or event should not define us, but rather how we deal with those things should define us. It changed my service approach after 9/11. On September 10th, 2001 at 8:45 a.m., I was in the North Tower. The following day, nothing was the same both personally and professionally. For those looking for technical work, the full-time job market was immediately stagnant, yet companies were still having IT issues and new projects were taking place at an escalated level. I realized that I could keep help professionals in the work market by, let me do that again. I realized that I could help professionals in the work market by keeping them earning, by putting them into a just-in-time work model, while assisting our customers with their IT needs in the immediate. The appreciation I received from helping the team earn, while at the same time providing an excellent service to my end customer, was and is a feeling that is unmatched. We are often thanked and asked how we are able to do what we do. It is as simple as this. Pay no attention to that person behind the curtain. It's just source one, making sure your magic box is working.
Oh, I like that new
Yeah,
ending.
I know, he kept it. That's one of my favorites.
Yeah, I like that. Well done. It was at 2:52 as far as time goes.
Well, I started about a half dozen times,
Yeah.
which probably added 38 seconds. So.
Yeah.
The whole part that you say leading up to the black box, like every time I've heard you say this, as soon as you get to that black box thing, I'm always like, wait a second,
Yep,
what did you
just
just
pulls
say?
me right back
like,
in.
Yeah, because like, and I can't tell you exactly what you said before that.
Right.
But as soon as you get to that moment, like I'm like, you know what? Yeah, I do. I just want it fixed.
Yeah.
Like nothing else matters to me, but it just gets fixed.
That's your challenge, is to take all the other stuff you say and de-technify it to where it just
And that's
is
so
that
funny, 'cause
simple.
that is what was said when I was here,
Yeah.
and I took out a whole bunch of technical, and it's so hard to de-technify.
Yeah.
technical.
You're getting there. It's
and the
layers.
majority of the people I speak to are technical, so
Yeah.
taking a lot of that stuff out, you know, I even though I was reading it, you know, when we were talking about local talent and uptime, you know, you're nodding your head because you're like, that's what my customers want.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They want somebody there in an hour to fix your problem.
But the idea is you want to be able to where you can pitch idiots.
Right.
Yeah. Like me.
And even if your customers are like on that higher tech level, you can say to them and make it very relatable to say to them, you know, you and I, we can talk tech all day long, but our end users can't.
Right.
And that's where this magic box is so important.
Yeah.
I have a suggestion under
No.
that, which would be one of the summaries that I heard when you were talking all the technical stuff. One of the problems that our clients face is that they get lost in a complex, unending system of consulting assessments versus high-level services or direct services or services to work through their problem. But you talked about assessment after assessment, which just yielded more assessments.
Yeah.
And then the other thing that you were just now talking about, I forgot, that it gets to the black box. That would be one thing. You need one other thing, and then the black box.
Yeah, simplify. Get rid of the word rectify and just use the word fix.
Yes.
Get rid of any, try to get rid of any of that multiple syllable stuff and just find what's the simplest one syllable word.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Rectify.
Yep. All right, who's left? Is that everybody?
Did you want to do yours?
I'm going to redo.
You want to redo?
Redo.
All right, redo it is.
Feedback.
But you did a great job, though.
Thanks.
My name is Grant. My name is Grant Smalling, president of Lenny & Associates. I'm going to do this highbrow too. For the last 8 years, we've expanded our home office in St. Petersburg by opening offices in, it's hard to do highbrow, in Seattle, Southern California, and Miami. And over that time, we've generated about $500 million in volume. And what I found is that a recreational purchase is a very personal thing because it deals with one of our clients' most important limited assets, which is their free time. And our customers want to spend time with their friends and family doing fun things like boating or soaring through the clouds or hitting the open road. And while it's fun to shop for these things, these luxury items, the problem comes in when your financing is not as easy as financing a car loan. It can be a long and arduous process. And so we solve this problem by taking out guesswork by using a simple three-phase approach. We gently walk our clients from contracting to closing so that they can get out there as quickly as possible and enjoy that free time. So the reason I love what I do is when I think of the best memories of my life, I remember my dad teaching me to water ski or taking controls of an airplane for the first time, or just sitting by the campfire with my wife and daughters. And recreational time with friends and family is the best way to reconnect and to what is really important in life. And it's that priority that reminds me each workday that I'm not just originating loans, I'm preparing our clients for a sunset cruise or a s'more by the fire. Our customers will tell you that we're known for simplifying the loan process and treating our customers like family because one one day soon we may be sitting next to them in a private airline lounge or even roasting marshmallows over a fire together.
Well done. 146.
That was really good. I
Yeah,
love the
well
review.
done. Yeah. Hey, quick. Go for it.
No.
Yeah, no, you.
Love it.
When you're saying like the financing, when you're talking about the financing being a problem, I would like just sum that up like financing is a nightmare or the financing is complicated. You know, because at the end you also talk about like simplifying it, so you can tie those two things in. You can just, you know, like financing luxury items, it's a nightmare. It can be a nightmare, and then you can just move straight on from that. We're saying like financing, luxury items, it's complicated, and then you have that other hook at the end because you guys simplify it.
Yeah, we played with the word nightmare a couple times, and whether or not relating it to the car loan process, because almost everybody's been through the car loan process.
Yeah. Well, you know, what's funny is.
Simple, but.
Yeah, but it's a nightmare. But if it's even worse than that, that's a big ass nightmare. Real quickly, could you, instead of saying $500 million in loans, is there any way you could go back and get the exact numbers and say something like, over the past 3 years, we've successfully been able to help provide 25 yachts, 48 jets, and 43 luxury RVs or something like that. Like, I'm almost wondering if those numbers would be more powerful than 500 million, but I don't know until I hear it. But that'd be I'd like to kind of hear how many of those of each one of those things you've done. And I say that because I remember one time a guy named, I can't remember his name, but from Penn. He's the guy who wears Hawaiian shirts and lives on a boat. But he's in website design. What's his name? Huh? Teo, yeah. So it's this guy named Teo. He designs websites. And he's just like this casual guy, wears Hawaiian shirts and flip-flops all the time. And he goes, he said something effective. It's like, my name's Teo, and we've designed websites here in the Tampa Bay area. And as of last Thursday, we've designed 4,382 websites. So by now, I think we finally know what we're doing, or something like that. And he had it down to such a specific number that I was just like, that's kind of badass, So yeah, and it would go up, as you would design one. So that'd be kind of neat for you to just keep a ticker on how many cars, jets, or how many yachts, jets, and luxury RVs.
Or how many hours of free time you help support. That's a huge number.
That'd be a huge number. Yeah. All right, cool. So wonderful job. I think everybody did their pitches here. Let's talk about this. If you were to give yourself an assessment right now, score from 0 to 10, 0 it sucked, 10 was great. It either sucked or it soared. What would you give yourself? You don't have to say that out loud, but just give yourself a silent score right now, and ask yourself if you're satisfied with that number. Right? My guess is most of you are probably not satisfied with the score that you just gave yourself. So it would be easy for me to say, hey, no big deal, let's just move on. You guys didn't hire me to let you get by with mediocrity. You actually are here because you want somebody to hold you accountable to do even better. So let's talk a little bit about why either it sucked or it soared. Right? There's really usually 8 reasons. We've identified why people just aren't nailing their pitch like they should. These, not all 8 will apply to you, but the ones that do, write them down and then tackle them. All right. And then when you come back next time for Momentum 2, I want to hear you guys not look at your computers and deliver me a pitch that impresses the shit out of me. So here it goes. Number 1, just not practicing.
No pressure, John.
Yep. And that's the most common one. You're just not practicing your pitch. By the way, if I were to assess just overall how you guys did now versus how you did when you were pitching toward Donna Stone, you guys rocked it toward Donna Stone because you had, like I was texting you every day going, you got to be ready, and you were ready, right? And then I'm going to guess that majority of you have not practiced your pitch once since that day. Yeah.
I actually used that framework.
Yeah.
I was at Brown last week and pitched for another idea.
Well done.
And
it's a good framework.
Competition.
Yeah.
They were like, man, this is your first idea, and I pulled it up, and I was like, all right, this time I'm gonna do this. This is
Yeah.
So I didn't do mine.
Did somebody else's though, and they thought you were a pitch genius. Well done. Yeah, just practice it, guys. You really just got to make sure you, like I say, get it up on the mirror. Put it on your desk. Set an alarm every day at a very bizarre time to have that alarm go off and just say, practice your pitch. Like, what are the times when you're most inefficient or the most downtime that you have? And if that alarm went off every day to remind you to do it, you just get a reminder, go, it's time for me to practice my pitch. So practice.
In fairness, you just told us to turn off all our alarms. Be aware of that.
All your notifications. There's a difference between a notification and an alarm, my friend. I still have alarms go off. All right, number 2, not following the architecture, just making it up on your own and just not actually following the capstone process. But you guys actually did really good. I don't know that that applies to anybody here. Number 3 could be one, not involving your team. right? You guys got a really cool resource here of people who will give you honest, deliberate feedback. Incorporate them, utilize them. If you don't, by the end of this program, take at least every single person out for a lunch at least once, you're missing out on some massive opportunities and connections. And it's just a great thing. Utilize the team. Utilize the Facebook page. Get on, post another recording of it, have them get evaluated over. We had this one guy in KPI, Chandilla Fernando. The guy must have posted his pitch 30 times. He would just post it, people give him feedback, he'd do it again, post it and give him feedback, and just do it over and over and over again. Just really got a lot of value out of that. Number 4, not playing for real. So actually never getting out and delivering the pitch in reality, but only practicing also is not going to help you. You've got to get out and actually fall on your face a couple of times, because I promise this, if you start to deliver the pitch and you choke in front of real people, it'll probably be the last time you choke.
I was on a call and I choked.
Yeah, you're like, oh, fuck, I'll never do that again. My favorite example is Mike McCoy. I think Mike came in here during Publish Day. He's the headshot photographer. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and man, that guy's got his pitch nailed, right? And my favorite story about him is he practiced his pitch better than anybody during KPI10 when we got to Pitch Fest, which is our pitching competition. Everybody in the room knew Mike McCoy was going to win the pitching competition because he was better than anyone. And he gets up at the pitch day and choked. I mean, choked so bad he just walked off. He goes, I can't remember what to say, and he just walked off. So he actually finished last on the pitching competition and was just mortified because we were all like, how did that happen? Everybody knew he was going to win. It was funny. You could just see the hope returning to people's souls. Like, I might win this now. I've got a shot. And I will tell you right now, by the way, he's never choked it ever again because he was like, fuck, I will never humiliate myself like that again. So you have to get out there and pitch it in reality. It's not something you just practice, but you got to get out there and do it.
I find the room intimidating.
This room is more intimidating than strangers usually.
I'll get on like I said, I was on a call the other day, man, and I hammered it.
Yep.
I sit in this room.
Yeah.
It's like I'm chewing on my shield. I don't get it.
I get it.
Absolutely zero sense to me. I don't get it.
I get it.
I value the fact that I normally in control of myself until I walk through this door.
Yeah,
You know what,
it's probably because you really respect the
sorry.
people around, and you know that we also know the architecture, so we can find out when you're going off script and stuff as well. What are you gonna say?
The other thing too is that I think we all find this room intimidating because you kind of alluded to that too. And I like when I started, I was just like, oh well, shit, I'm just going with it. But I think that the more comfortable we become doing it in here, imagine how much more comfortable we're going to be doing it out there.
That's why we have a dog. She provides emotional support, so you can just
Yeah.
cuddle with her if you want.
Because in here, like, you're vulnerable, right? Like, if you're out with somebody else, you can literally BS your way through it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no
I
one
shake
knows.
every time I open my mouth. I literally shake, and it makes no sense to me. I've stood in front of rooms. I've done, that's not a problem. I get in here, and it's like, what the hell?
We're complimented by that. Thank you very much.
I'm glad you are. 'cause
We'll
it
make you
drives
shit.
me bonkers.
Number five, overacting. Actually, over practicing it can be a condition as well, where you just become too theatrical in your pitch and it doesn't sound real. Another reason if your pitch isn't going well is because you're not pitching big enough. You're pitching too small, for us, pitching too small is pitching too vague. Right? So trying to be the weight loss expert for everyone versus the weight loss expert for moms. That's pitching big. I know it's counterintuitive. Number 7, not playing full out, just not actually putting your heart into the pitch and practicing it. So you're just reciting it, but you're not living it. You really want to make sure you're feeling the pitch as well. And then number 8, and this one probably hasn't even happened for anybody yet, but it will eventually, and that's gauging the response. And it's hard to gauge the response if you're still memorizing the pitch. But once you get it down to where you can just roll it out, you really want to just be focused externally and just looking at people and notice for subtle things like, are they tilting their head when they listen or are they leaning in when they listen? And that little nonverbal difference between leaning in versus tilting the head could tell you it's either landing or it's not. Yep. All right, so that's the pitching aspect of things, folks. Let's move on to the next thing unless you have any other questions about pitching. Nope, good. Let's move on. Let's talk about the second element, which is publishing. We had a great publishing day. For those of you who were not here, we had Donna Stone come out and talk about her experience in publishing 5 books. 6 is on the way. Did you guys enjoy her as a mentor, by the way? Yeah, she's cool, yeah? Yeah, and that diamond map thing that she's created, I think is epic. So if you're not familiar with the diamond map because you weren't here, we have...
I have some.
You emailed it to me.
I did. Oh, okay. Good. I've got extras here because if you've not finished... What's that?
Did you email it to me?
Be certainly good right now if you want to. I've got I had copies here. Oh, they're sitting on my desk. I'll go get them in a second. How are you guys doing on, so let's just do a progress report here. So the whole goal for today is to check in and see how you're doing on your outline, your mind map, or your diamond maps, and either of them are fine. So around the room, Stacy, is your
Patty.
outline up? Hi, Stacy. How you doing?
Stacey.
So,
I'm
Stacy,
called
I was,
Susan and Patty
yeah,
and
I was
Peggy
just
and Penny.
fooling you.
Mine.
Yeah,
That's
so
yours. This is
Stacy,
mine.
that's yours. Yeah. Have you got your outline, diamond maps, or a mind map done on your book yet?
No.
Not a problem. Okay. Michelle.
I have chapter titles.
Okay.
I have a section mapped to the diamond method, but I put it in an outline form, so I took it.
Mm-hmm.
And then final, let me see, final. Hold on. And I have all the sections identified, and I have the major sections, and I do have the chapters. Yeah, so I have the chapter titles or content. So I have some of it. I
Some
just
of it.
have my points and
Right.
my sub-points.
Got it. Okay. Cool. Grant.
My topics.
Actually got 4 sections and some subsections, a decent outline started.
Started. Not done yet. Okay.
Not done. no.
That's fine. Don.
I started, as discussed before, I started to put together an outline for the
Yep.
docs.
Cool. Caesar.
I'm almost done with the outline, I believe.
Okay. Cool. Caesar.
I'm ready to write.
You ready to write? Outlines are done? Damn. All right. Cool. Who's?
I'm still working on the idea of the book.
So we're on the idea. So no outline yet?
No, I'm not yet.
Cool.
I wasn't
Fred.
here, so I'm not familiar with diamond outline, but I do have, because I was in the middle of trying to write up something.
Mm-hmm.
So I have an outline of chapters and subsections. I'm not sure if it maps to this one.
Doesn't have to.
Some of it's already
You
written.
got a book there, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of sections are just.
How many chapters do you have on your outline?
I haven't numbered them. Maybe like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
All right.
Short chapters.
Yeah, so you're about halfway done. A third to halfway. Okay, cool.
Almost done with my outline. You know, just kind of fleshing it out. So I got like 3 segments, 16, potential chapters. So.
Good. All right, cool. Patty?
I have my outline's pretty much done and subsections are done, but I need to get into like the actual points.
The
of
points,
doing
the
it.
subtime. Okay.
Yeah, but the good thing is that it kind of kicked me into I put together an article to put up onto LinkedIn, and I do this thing for a local blogger and wrote something for her, so it kind of got me going on
Get
that.
you started. All right,
Yeah.
cool. All right, so let's address this. Our goal today, and we're not going to accomplish it, but in an ideal world, our goal would be to actually at 2:18 we could get it done. I take that back. Would be to have you leave here today with your outline done, or your diamond maps done, or your mind map done, whatever the hell you're going to use to organize your book. We want to have that done. And when I say done, I don't mean just the name of the chapter and then some of the subpoints, but the subpoints inside the subpoints as best you possibly can. If we can get about 90% of that done today, we'll be in a really good position for the authorship challenge, which is going to start on Monday. So you kind of have today, tomorrow, and Sunday also to kind of finish up that thing if we can. But I really want us to just get so focused into deep work today that we just bang out these outlines and stuff. And if you're ready to write, guess what? You can start writing today. You'd be ahead of the game. It's not a problem. So let's get everybody caught up to speed. I was telling myself, I don't need the flip chart today. This is just reviewing information.
I have a request. I should leave early. No, I'm gonna ask my team.
Yep.
Okay. I have to leave early at a little bit before 3, so I won't be able to stay for the full 2 hours. So because I'm in the position that I'm in, and Monday morning is when writing starts, and there aren't any excuses regardless of what's going on in my life, which is a lot. Who cares? It's happening a lot for everybody. I just need to know who's going to be my accountability partner, or what would be the best way for you guys to know that I got the work done.
Well, I'll tell you right now, we'll all know. We're all going to be everybody's accountability buddy, because what we're going to do is on Monday, I will text you a link that will be an online Google document that is essentially an Excel spreadsheet that has 3 weeks worth of slots.
Right.
And it has a graph on how many words you need to write every day in order for you to finish.
Okay.
And so every day at 8 p.m. you'll be getting a text message from me with that link again. You can click on it from your phone, and you can enter in your daily word count. And so every day we will all be able to see everybody's daily word count. So if somebody is slacking, the idea is that person would end up getting 14 phone calls from everybody else going, kicking in gear, but sorry about that.
All right, then what I'll do for my outline process, which
Yes.
is what I was asking for accountability.
Oh, gotcha, okay.
I will upload my outline document on the Facebook.
Yes, we want everybody to upload your outlines onto the Facebook page, so
Okay.
everybody can kind of look at that and just make a quick snap judgment in terms of, well, I think you might be missing this or something. Yeah, so we really.
A certain length of the book, or?
Yeah, so we'll talk about that. In fact, why don't I do this? Let me go through the slides now. I'll talk
Sure.
about the diamond map after you're gone, because you already know about that anyway. So we'll get everything into speed here in terms of context. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to show you a slide that's going to scare you. Because it's going to look like way too much time for you as a busy owner of a business to have, and that's okay. I got plenty of those, by the way. So before I show you the slide, this is how you get your book done in 3 weeks. So our goal is to actually write the entire document in 3 weeks. And there's a reason for that. And the reason for that is what we have found. There's a theory called Parkinson's Law. And Parkinson's Law states that you will occupy whatever amount of time or space you have by whatever you've given it. So for example, if you give yourself 6 months to lose 10 pounds, you'll lose 10 pounds in 6 months.
Has to take as much time as you have.
If you give yourself 6 weeks to lose 10 pounds, you'll lose 10 pounds in 6 weeks. Now, we could argue whether or not one would be healthier than the other, obviously, right? But there's that amount of thing. You guys have experienced Parkinson's Law when you get ready to go on vacation. When you get ready to go on vacation, you can get your month's worth of work done in 2 days because you've got to get it all done before you go, kind of a thing. Parkinson's Law is why you're ineffective if you give yourself 12 hours a day to work. If you give yourself 12 hours a day to work, you'll get 8 hours of work done in 12 hours. If you give yourself only 8 hours, you'll be far more focused and you'll get your work done in 8 hours. Interestingly enough, you could probably, everyone in this room could make a rule that you're only going to work for 4 hours a day, and you probably get your 8 hours of work done in 4 hours. It's Parkinson's Law. We just use up whatever time we have. So if you give yourself until the end of this program to write your book, it'll take you to the end of this program to write your book. But at the end of the day, you know what you're going to end up doing? You're going to end up spending a total of about 3 hours, or about 3 weeks writing the book. You might take 6 months to do it or 2 years to do it, but it takes about 3 weeks. That's all it is. So the number of 3 weeks is the number that we have found, which is the maximum allowable push that we can give you without causing you a mental breakdown. 1 week would probably cause the breakdown, right? So we've played with this over the past 7 years. 3 weeks is the perfect ideal number. So here's the slide that will freak you out. Here's what we're going to recommend. Are you ready? We're going to recommend 2 hours a day to write your book. Now, I know you guys don't have a spare 2 hours. Guaranteed. You don't have to tell me your story. It's the same as everybody else's story. Now, the interesting thing about 2 hours a day to write your book is that if you actually do 2 hours a day to write your book in the first week, you will be so much better by the end of the week at writing. Your learning curve will be logarithmic. And by the end of the week, you'll be writing 2 to 3 times faster than you did on the first day you started writing. So what that means is, let's say you were to be able to write 1,000 words in 2 hours on day 1, you'll be able to write 4,000 words in 2 hours on day 7. And by day 10, you'll be able to write 8,000 words. And by day 14, you'll be able to write 20,000 words. Now, I'm totally using bogus numbers here, right? But what you'll discover is that your skill set, your ability to write, becomes exponentially higher and wicked fast, wicked quick, if you just hold yourself to a 2-hour time frame. Meaning, if you try to get about 1,600 words done in 2 hours, by the second week, you'll be able to get 1,600 words done in 1 hour. And by the third week, you'll be able to get 1,600 words done in a half an hour. So if we budget you for 1,600 words, 2 hours a day, 5 days a week, 3 days a week, you're going to have so much more free time by the end of the second week and then by the end of the third week that it'll all kind of average out, right? So these are, we've worked with these numbers before. Okay. That's our average to go. Now I'm going to give you strategies to make this real simple, okay, and take a lot of the pressure off. But we do want you to focus for the next 3 weeks on getting this done. I understand that it could be 3 weeks of hell. But I promise you that the feeling of accomplishment you'll get in just 3 very short weeks will be absolutely worth it. You didn't sign on for this program to be mediocre. You signed on to this program to step it up and to dig a little bit deeper and to demand more of yourself in a short period of 6 months than most entrepreneurs will ever do. You've essentially, by jumping into this game, you've said, I'm no longer satisfied with complacency, and I'm no longer satisfied with out of control. I'm going to get motivated, I'm going to stay in control, and I'm going to be the boss of my calendar. This is also why at the beginning I encouraged you to get out of your office, because your office depends upon your thinking and it makes them dumb. But if you get out of your office, your staff gets a hell of a lot brighter and a lot smarter. The biggest thing we have seen why people can't take 2 hours a day out of their day is because they have an overinflated sense of self-importance. They think there's no possible way their business can function without them being there for 14 hours a day or 12 hours a day. And it's just not true. Yeah, I promise you this, if you turn off all the notifications on your phone, you'll have an extra free 2 hours a day just into the recovery of interruptions. It's amazing how much more productive you can be. Having said all that, let me give you some strategies for how to get that extra 2 hours. The first way is to actually get up an hour early and stay up an hour late. There's 2 hours that you're just wasting away by sleeping anyway. Now, is it healthy to starve your body of 2 hours of sleep for the rest of your life? Probably not. But I don't care how little you sleep right now. And let's just be honest. You're probably sleeping just fine. Even if you're only sleeping 6 hours a night, you're fine. Okay? You can live on 4 a night for the next 3 weeks. Maybe you couldn't live on 4 hours a night for the next 3 months, but we're talking it's 3 weeks here, people. This is really, I mean, come on. You all go to the university? Well, if you did, there were times where you were going on 2 hours of sleep. What'd you do? You crammed the Red Bull. Oh, well, go ahead. Make Red Bull your best friend for the next 3 weeks if you have to. I don't care. Find a way to dig a little bit deeper.
Or a healthier option.
Or a healthier option would be fine as well.
Adderall, you're right.
Yes. Adderall. Cocaine.
And you lose
He
weight.
said to do it.
Yeah. You just see the arrest record. I was encouraged to take cocaine from this program. I'm so screwed. All right, so that's the plan. Right now, by the way, the book isn't done in 3 weeks, but the book is written in 3 weeks. All right? Let me give you a couple of other options if you're just sitting there just freaking out at the thought of taking 2 hours a day, right? I don't care if you write your book or not. I just want you to author your book. So there's other ways to get a book done without actually sitting down and writing it. So here's an easy way. Talk into your phone. Just get your recorder out and you can speak. The average person speaks about 150 words per minute, which means you could speak for about 10 minutes and almost have your 1,600 words done.
That's how I did this one so far. I did Dragon Naturally Speaking, because writing it, I get bored and distracted.
Uh-huh.
And I can't think of what I want to say, but I can just say it and then talk to somebody. I do it all through Dragon, and then I go back and edit.
Good, perfect. I would pay somebody to do the editing, but yeah. So Dragon software works great. Siri is actually getting pretty damn good at being able to just recite if you speak slow. I will tell you there is a difference between using Dragon and Siri versus just talking into a recording and letting somebody transcribe it. Obviously if you use Dragon a lot, it's gotten used to your voice and it's probably pretty accurate. If you want to just talk into your recorder, the easiest way to get that transcribed is to actually use a service called Fiverr, Fiverr.com. Fiverr.com is a group of people that do just about anything under the sun for $5. And while most of the things are rip-off and pretty low quality and crap, like don't go to Fiverr to get your logo designed, I will tell you that one of the best things that's ever been invented for it was for transcription services, because you can find these people in Afghanistan and Thailand that will transcribe upwards of, and it's kind of a commodity depending upon how popular it is, but usually at the very least you can get 10 minutes of audio recorded, transcribed for $5. Most of the time, I find people who will transcribe 20 minutes of my dialogue for $5.
The other good ones too is Rev.com.
Rev.com.
Oh, Rev. Oh, okay.
REV.com it's really cheap, and that's all I do. Transcription.
There's no transcription. Rev.com.
You just upload them the file, and it's like a couple dollars. It's like,
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah,
What's it called?
I'll give you the prices.
Rev.com.
Rev,
My buddy uses it for his podcast. It's like $1 per minute for transcription. That's video to text, translation. 10 cents per word. Captions,
It's pretty
$1
cheap.
Alright.
per minute.
All right, so it's $1 a minute, so that'd be $20 versus $5 on Fiverr.
Yeah.
But I will tell you, I've never had a problem with quality on Fiverr for the transcriptionists. Yeah, they do a damn good, bang-up job. Yeah.
Cheap, so.
Yeah, cheap. Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
telling you.
if you get
Now-
to rate them, if you rate them too low, that agent gets kicked off.
Now, what I will tell you is Rev probably will get it to you faster. I would assume you're going to pay $1 a minute and get 24 hours. Fiverr, you're going to get it back in 2 to 3 days. But even then, sometimes you find them and they get them back to you in 24 hours. Yeah, so check that out, or Rev, that's fine. But talking to your recorder, folks, your book would be done if you talked for 10 minutes a day, 5 days a week, for 3 weeks. Could you talk about your product or service for 10 minutes a day, 5 days a week, for 3 weeks? That's not hard, and that's about the same number, right? 10 to 15 minutes, yes.
So since I wasn't here, is this what the structure is, or?
No, we'll get
Okay.
into that once
Okay, all right.
once we get
Go
everything
ahead.
caught up. No problem. The next question is, why are we even doing this inside of 3 weeks? Well, one of the things we're going to do is we want to give you guys a really cool reward or incentive for getting your books done. Now, the biggest reward and the biggest incentive should just be the fact that you have a book. It is, I'm telling you,
Authority.
it's the ultimate credibility builder in your field. But it just transforms your identity as a business person. It, honest to God, transforms how you think about yourself, the worth that you have about yourself, your ability to negotiate, and what you will and will not tolerate. That alone is absolutely worth getting this book done, and it will be one of the best feelings you've ever had in your business, because it's like giving birth to a baby. It's a lot of work, but you will absolutely love it. I cannot stress enough. I'm going to go through this journey with you. So I'm going to write a book as well. So you can hold me as accountable as I hold you accountable. And I've purposely not even started my outline, because I wanted you to know that I'm starting behind you. But I will have
along
another
with
book.
me.
What's that?
Or along with me.
Or along with you. That's fine too. Yep. So I'm going to do this as well. What we're going to do is we're going to have a contest. So let me tell you a little bit about the contest. The contest is what we refer to as the Authorship Challenge. The Authorship Challenge, actually here, let me just zip over to the Authorship Challenge, then I'll go back and pick on these things. Is going to be from November 13th through December 4th. Now, here's the cool thing about this time of the year. You can use this as the best reason in the world to write your book, or the worst reason, right? Oh, it's the holidays. You don't mind writing a book during the holidays. Well, you know what, though? It's the holidays, people. This is the time of year where almost every professional service company slows down. Nobody wants to lose weight during the holidays, so your business is probably pretty slow right now. Fucking write a book, right? People are at the end of their year. They don't have budgets for marketing anymore. Fucking write a book, right? Let's just get these things done. Here's a cool idea. Would you like to get 4 times ahead of your competition in the next 2 months? Great, then work twice as hard, because your competition's slowing down twice as much. Everybody in the market right now is getting end of year, lazy ass. Nothing can happen in service-driven companies until January. Great, so let them slow their asses down. Let's rev it up, and let's get some shit done that nobody else will, right? Yeah. So it's from November 13th through December 4th. Yes, I realize that's over the Thanksgiving holiday. Deal with it. You'll be so much more glad you did. Here's how the challenge works. We want you guys to write 30,000 words an average per person. What do I mean by average? Well, if Michelle writes 50,000, John only writes 10,000, between the two of them, you got yourself an average of 30,000.
We already made that arrangement the first day we met.
All right, good.
Yes.
So he'll do 50, you'll do 10?
That was that.
I will be much lower than whatever she writes.
But it's as a group, right? So as a group, we will total this document that we'll send you guys has the average daily word count.
The chapter titles count over my word count?
Every single word you guys write from Monday.
How much chapter names are really?
Yeah, like if you guys are writing, if you're writing blogs, it counts. It doesn't count if you're writing emails, unless in the email it is an interdepartmental email explaining guides.
This isn't for the book.
It is. Yeah, I want you just writing. Yep. Chances are your blog content could actually go inside your book. Yeah, we want you writing, folks. I don't really care what you're writing. We want you writing. Average of 30.
I need to. So
Yeah.
this is words in general.
Yeah. Business related, you know. And,
Yeah. I'm not talking about Facebook posts here. But
No, exactly.
Right.
Yeah, that doesn't count, right? But if you write a blog that is directly related and you could repurpose that information into your book, that'll count. Yeah. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Yeah.
Can we take things that we've previously written?
Okay, if you can take stuff that you've previously written and put it in your book, the answer to that question is yes.
Because if it
It's
only
a
if it's
hell
relevant.
yes. Yeah. So
Okay.
some of you could take all of the stuff you've already written in your blogs and repurpose that, and you're probably 10,000 words in your book already,
Yeah.
and that'll count. So some of you on Monday, when I say send me your word count, if you're organizing all that stuff together, you could end up having 5,000 words on your first day. Could put you in a good spot. Yeah. If you've already started writing a book and you never got it done, all those words count as long as it's going to end the book. We don't care. Now, here's the kicker though. It's a 10,000 word minimum for each person. So while the average has to be 30, everybody has to at least write 10. So if there's only one person who doesn't write 10,000 words, nobody wins. We either we either all win or we either all lose. But I haven't even told you what you're going to win yet, so maybe you might not even like it.
Brand new car.
Yeah, not that good. Not that good.
Against the knives.
All right, so what does 30,000 average out to? 30,000 words averages out to typing or writing 1,500 words per day. That's all it is. Yeah, that is, to put that in perspective, about the length of 2 blogs. So if you're just writing 2 blogs a day, you're probably getting your book done in 3 weeks. It's amazing how fast this stuff adds up. Okay? And that's just a normal blog. I mean, some people's blogs are 3,000 words. Great. Good on you. Right?
I wrote 7,000 words.
That's a long blog.
Yeah.
By the way, how much of that could go inside your book?
I don't know. That's the thing. Yeah, I
It
got
might be
all
worth
it,
going
yeah.
back and look at it, right? Yeah. You'd be
Okay.
surprised how much great stuff you guys have probably already created and it's available for you. What are you going to win? So here's the mystery day that we're going to offer. So if you guys pull this together and you get this done, we're going to provide for you a speaking in the media training day, which prepares you for getting on TV.
And the whole group wins.
Yay!
The whole group wins it.
Awesome.
Yay!
This is
Oh my gosh!
I will tell you, by the way, everybody who goes through this and wins this tells me that it's their favorite day out of the entire KPI program. So let me explain how the day works. The way it works is we have our camera set up with a live feed, and everything on the day is watched on TV. And you actually get up and you speak in front of a camera, but people aren't looking at you as a person, they're looking at you as a TV. And we focus on 4 critical key areas for the media. Number 1 is how do you speak direct to a camera and make it engaging and enlivening towards it. People want to watch it and share it and like it, and all that kind of crap. So we'll give you specific techniques on how to speak on camera that make it work. The second thing we're doing is talking about how to be a great interview host. How do you interview people in a way which is engaging and gets people to watch and gets people to like that stuff? There's, for me as a professional speaker, nothing more annoying than watching an entrepreneur create a video podcast show and then they've never taken 1 day's training on how to actually interview people, and you just get up and ask the most lame questions out there in such a boring way. We're going to give you guys the techniques that the major networks use for creating interviews, and there's a system and a pattern to that. We're going to be going through that. You might sit there and go, I have no ambitions ever to do my own video blog and interview people. I would caution you to be that resistance because, number 1, as a service-driven company, in order to be a person of influence, you need to be creating massive amounts of content. And eventually you'll run out of content. One of the easiest ways to create content is to actually outsource the creation of the content to other people and interview other experts in their fields, and you get to take the credit for the content because you're the one interviewing them. It's actually a really cool thing. You could be interviewing clothing designers, makeup artists, hairstylists. You could be interviewing the guy who has the wood bow ties. You could be interviewing people who are fanatic about how to tie knots in ties and all of those things. Free content, right? So it is good to learn how to be a good host and interview people, and there is a system to it. The third component is actually how to be a great guest, and you all want to make sure you're a great guest because we want you getting on TV and radio as much as possible. You know, when Caesar works his ass off to get Lewis an interview, he wants to make sure that Lewis actually steps up to the plate and delivers a great interview, because one thing that'll happen is that if Caesar puts his neck on the line and gets Lewis an interview on Bay News 9, and then he goes on TV and chokes, Caesar's reputation sucks. And then anytime Caesar tries getting another guest, they're going to go, yeah, I remember that last guy you gave us, he was a loser, and he's made his job real hard, right? But if Caesar gets Lewis on TV and Lewis goes and rocks it, then all of a sudden Caesar gets a phone call from the producer going, that guy was amazing. We'll have him back on any given day. We'd love to have him on. By the way, that's really what you want. You know that you've done a good job as an interviewee if the host or the producer invites you back the moment you're off camera. You know you sucked if you get off camera and they go, great, good job, thanks so much. Do you know how to get to the green room? If they just thank you, what's that?
Can I add to that?
Yeah.
And if you do really good, like here's a huge success for Roberto Torres.
Mhm.
So he landed the Ton of Time on Bay News 9.
You become a regular.
And now he has a weekly segment.
Mhm.
And I didn't do that.
Yeah.
I got him.
No,
there
you did do that.
Yeah,
You got him
but-
the first gig. Yeah.
Right. But then he just capitalized on it.
Uh-huh.
And they were like, man, you actually know what the hell you're talking about.
Yep.
And you come every Friday.
Yep. Yeah.
Right, so.
And you can't pay for that kind of ad coverage, man. It's just valuable. But you got to know what you're doing, right? And there's a big difference between just sitting there and answering a question, knowing how to do it in a way which is captivating, engaging. The fourth component is how to read a teleprompter. If you don't know the importance of learning how to read a teleprompter to where it looks natural, you need to look no further than our president, Donald Trump. Because he is possibly the
Why
worst.
you say that?
He's the worst
About
teleprompter
president.
reader ever. I honestly think he might be the worst one I've ever seen.
Big.
Big league. Yeah. There's a art and a science to learning how to read off of a teleprompter to where it looks like you're not reading off of a teleprompter, and we're going to go through those skills and steps, and we'll actually have you speaking off of a teleprompter and reading scripts. It is a blast. It's a fun day. It's very experiential. There's no notes taken. It's all done on video, and it's fun as. And we'll do, and by the way, sometimes, not always, we couldn't do it this last time, but with the exception of this last time, we always have in the past been able to negotiate a tour going over to this NBC studios, and we meet up with Cindy Edwards and Jerry from Daytime TV and Stacy Scheibel from News, and we just tour the facility, and they give advice on how to be a great guest as well, which is kind of cool.
Did he hear the thing? How are people? How's everyone who's not here going to hear about our big
It's being
contest?
recorded right now, but I rely on you guys to also convey the message to the other people as well. Yeah. Now, a couple of other things in terms of how to get this on, because I said I don't care if you write it, I care that you author it. So one option is that you can just speak into a recorder, and that's a very fast, easy way to do it. Another way that you may want to think about doing is hiring a ghostwriter. You kind of have to just generally evaluate what is your time worth versus how much time is it going to take, and would you be willing to pay a ghostwriter to do that? If you're interested in ghostwriter services, let me know. We can put you in touch with several different options. We have 3 different ghostwriters that have come out of the KPI program, and we can get you in touch with them. Plus, we are starting to offer ghostwriting services as well, because I have a full-time writer named Alejandra who's amazing at what she does, and she's willing to work part-time for that as well. If you're going to hire a ghostwriter, here's what you should expect to budget for your book. All in, soup to nuts, the entire book is done. It shows up on your doorstep, and you didn't have to do anything other than talk and then give it a final read over toward the end. $15,000. Some will charge less, but ultimately, the ones that charge less usually have additional fees if there's additional revisions, and there's always additional revisions. So just know that full on in, you're probably going to spend about $15,000, but you will have the time to be able to focus on whatever you want. Yep, so that's an option as well. And if you need the names of those people, let me know. If you decide to go with a ghostwriter, an interesting thing happens. You're credited immediately at the beginning of this competition with 35,000 words. So Claire Lardner from Miami, by the way, she's not here today, and the reason why she's not here today is because she doesn't have to be here today, because she's going through KPI Elite, and KPI Elite includes a ghostwriter, and so her book will be done. So she is already done with her 35,000 words. Even though the book hasn't even been started yet, we know it's going to get done because we paid $15,000 to get it done. So the book is done. So if you guys hire a ghostwriter, we immediately give you a 35,000 word trigger, and you don't even have to worry about it after that.
Interview and stuff, how are they?
There's a couple different ways to do it. So the way that we do it inside KPI Elite is we actually contract with Karen Rowe, who's one of our clients who came through the program, and she's a ghostwriter, and she's awesome. And she charges $15,000, so that's why I know it's just the average. She has a program called Book the Beach. And by the way, you don't have to sign up for Elite. You can just hire Karen Rowe directly. Mention my name because she'll give me a little bit of cheddar. But you can just hire her directly, and she does a thing called Book at the Beach. So the way Book at the Beach works is she has you pick a resort that you want to go to on the beach, and then you go there, and then the two of you write the book. Basically, the way it works is It's a Saturday and a Sunday. You get up Saturday morning at 9 o'clock. You're inside the boardroom. She interviews you until lunchtime. At lunchtime, you go have lunch with your wife, your kids, your husband, whoever it is. During lunch, she takes that. She uploads it to her transcriptionist. They transcribe the information. You come back after lunch while she's interviewing you for a second round. They're transcribing that. Once they get that transcribed, it automatically gets sent to her editors. The editors convert it from human speak into written speak, into written word. Same process happens at night while you're asleep. The second half is being transcribed and then re-edited into written word versus spoken word. You come in the morning and half the book is already done. Same thing happens on Sunday. Oh, and then while you're asleep that night, the graphic designers are also coming up with concepts and designs for your book titles. So you come in the next morning, you have a whole list of different book designs to pick from. And then you finish your edit, and then usually by Monday or Tuesday, the transcription's completely done.
Wow, that's insane.
What about the editing? Does your person do editing? I don't mind writing, but I need someone to...
Yep. So we can put you in touch with the editing service as well, and Alejandra does that, and we're happy to. And if you guys want to go to Alejandra, I'm not putting any kind of vig in it for me. I'm just putting it right over to her, and she'll just handle it, and you can deal with her. So yeah, and I'd love for you to do that because she'd love some Christmas money. So that's fine. But those are some other options as well. So just know what your time is worth. Some people are very personal about these things and they want to write the book. That's how I am, and that's cool. Other people are like, this is a marketing tool for me and I'm going to use it that way, and I'm just going to hire a person to write it. Rob Hessel actually hired a writer to write the content, did an exhaustive interview, found a woman who lived in New York during 9/11. She was very passionate about the concept of safe cities, and he just paid her per word to write, and then he's edited, liked it, don't like it, fix this, say this, and she just wrote the whole book, and that book will be released. I think
you can pre-order it right now.
I think you can pre-order it. I think April 4th. April 4th it'll be due. So that's the system, that's the theory, but I will tell you this day is absolutely worth working for, guys. You will love the media training day. Out of the 10 KPI programs that we've had, 4 have won it. 6 have not. And one group lost it with less than 700 words.
What?
Yeah.
Crazy.
And I didn't give it to them. Yeah. They were pissed.
And
Like, why would you get pissed? Here's the deal. It's pretty simple. It's 35,000 word average, right? Yeah. Or 30,000 word average.
How do we track it? Or how is it being tracked?
So what we'll do is
people know?
every evening at 8 p.m. I'll send you a text. Because, by the way, 8 p.m. is the deadline every day. Now, you might be a person who likes to write at night, and that's cool, but you just submit those numbers the next morning, right? So whatever you're at 8 p.m., just submit that number. And then if you got carryover for the next day, that's part of the next day. It's no big deal. And all you do is you just click the link. Now, depending upon what type of smartphone you have, you may need to install an app to be able to utilize it because we use Google Docs. So, for example, you'll need to install the app called Sheets on your iPhone. But if you have a Google phone, I would imagine you can probably just use Google Docs and it's not a big deal. But the app is called Sheets, if I'm not mistaken. Sheets.
Yep.
It is.
Yeah. And everybody kind of has that nowadays. But Sheets is basically, it's Google Docs. It's the app for Google. And have that installed, and as soon as you click the link will see it's a Google document. It'll say, would you like to open up Google Sheets? You go, yes, and then you can just log out. In fact, here. So here's the Book Authorship Challenge document for KPI 9. It's a little hard to see on the phones, but so it has every person's name, and it has their word count. I don't know how to scroll it over there. It has their word count and their daily, and it's got a little graph at the bottom which averages it out. So let's say, for example, you get 5,000 words done your first day, then it'll tell you that based upon your 5,000 words today, all you have to do is write 1,200 words a day from now on. And then if you slip the next day and don't write anything, the next day it'll say, well, now you need to write 1,400 words a day.
Are you uploading what you've written into that?
Just the word count.
Just the word count.
Just the word count. That's all you do. And that's easy. Every word processing app has a word count on it. Yeah. So we don't look at pages. We just look at word count. Average book, by the way, is about, if you're looking for like a 150-page book, it's about 30 to 35,000 words. Yeah. A good book is about 30 to 35,000 in terms of it's not too light that it doesn't give you any credibility, but it's not so big that people will go, oh, crap, I'll never get through this book. My latest book, the book on public speaking, was 68,000 words. It was too big. And I was an idiot, and I didn't even listen to my own advice. I should have made 2 books, right? Because now it's 6x9 versus 5x7. Now I can't stick it in a normal envelope and ship it for normal prices. I got to pay more extra. It's just a pain in the ass, and I was an idiot.
30 to 35, you're saying?
30 to 35 is a good number for a business book. Yeah.
And the basic formula for that with the diamond method and the way that works is that you're going to have approximately, I think it's around 1,500. I think it's 1,500 words per point, per sub-point.
Oh, probably less than that. Oh, maybe.
No, it's about
Yeah.
1,500 words per sub-point, and then all of those bullets are about 300 words.
Which is perfect
So
then.
it's
So
just
every
super-
sub-point versus the points within
Yeah,
it. Yeah.
so these points here, these subtopics,
Yeah.
are about 1,500, and these are about 300.
Yeah. So if you're,
The subtopics chapters?
we got
I
copies.
have an
Yeah.
extra one if you want.
I got tons.
Okay.
Yeah.
Subtopic chapters?
No, this is a chapter.
Oh, this whole thing is one chapter?
This
That's
whole
one
thing
chapter.
is one chapter,
Mhm.
and these are all of your subtopics in your
Book
chapter,
titles, yeah.
and then, so you can imagine sections within the chapter, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So imagine the book, so you see a bold,
Yeah.
that's a section, and then it's basically 5 paragraphs.
Yeah. And all you do once a day is just write one of those things. That's it. And if you do it, you're done. Yeah. All right, cool. Any questions on the authorship challenge? You guys understand the dynamic between 30,000 average, 10,000 minimum?
Mm-hmm.
Yep, cool. You got 3 weeks to get it done. Deadline is November.
Means if someone does
December 4th
9,999
at 8 p.m.
words, he will not.
Or
get
she.
it.
You looking at me for?
Just saying.
A whole table of people here. You see
I'm not, I'm saying all around. It could be me, I'm looking for you to look at me
Yeah.
Halfway there.
and reflect it back to
I
me.
gotcha.
Yeah. All right. Okay. So now, having said that, I wanted to get through that content so you knew about the challenge and everything
Thank
else.
you.
Yep. Let's talk about reasons why you don't want to do it.
Okay.
Number 1 is that it's a huge commitment. Okay. It is a huge commitment, but it's also a game changer for your business. And this is the one that you have to hopefully operate from a bit of faith that I'm not steering you wrong on this one. It absolutely changes the game in your business.
Can we take like a poll? Like who in here doesn't want to do it? Is there anybody that's like,
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
I'll say this much: it's not that I don't want to do it.
Mhm.
It's that when somebody asks me about this program and what I'm doing, I'm like, oh yeah, we have to write a book. Like I always feel, but I feel like once I actually write the book, I'm gonna be like, yeah, and I wrote a book.
Yeah.
But right now, I feel just kind of like, yeah, I have to write a book, and I'm like, how do I know if it's good?
Yeah.
Like, and I get hung up on the
Doesn't
same thing with my
matter.
pitch, and that's why I've struggled with getting the pitch completely nailed down. Is because I'll go back and look at it and be like, no, now this needs to change. No, this needs to change. And I'm worried I'm gonna do the same thing with the book.
So the only thing I can do is just remind you what Sheryl Sandberg from Facebook said. Done is better than perfect. I would rather have an okay book finished than a perfect book in your head. Yep. And here's the thing. We won't let you publish crap because that's what editors are for. You don't really have to be that smart. You can just kind of get the words on the page, and then editors are the ones that make you sound far more intelligent than you really are. Yep.
And
If you've
my
ever
wife is a published author.
if you've ever read anything in my books and thought, well, that's pretty smart, it wasn't me. It was my editor.
And I will tell you to the extent that you're just talking about how do I know if it's
Right.
good or what have you. That was the drive. My wife is writing her second book now.
Interesting.
Okay,
Yeah.
because it was an okay book.
Mm-hmm.
And it drove her to do the
now it's
second one.
like,
But I think
my
it's like
next
you
one is
said.
not going to be an okay book.
Yeah.
she's a publisher. It's like the last person, what do you call the last person that passes, medical school?
Yeah.
That's a doc.
Right,
You know,
but
you don't
but
get
that's
that
what I'm saying.
published author.
But this first book she wrote, she wrote in road trips to New York in the car, and
Yeah.
with the laptop open, and that is what she did. When she was sitting in line waiting to pick up, my son from school, she wrote, to the point of all the things, constantly writing. That's what she did. When we were sitting in the living room watching television, she was in the corner writing her book.
By the way, she'll probably not like the second one either. And this is a weird
Right.
phenomenon that once you get done with it, you're such a critic of your own book. And you actually are better than you were. Like, the interesting thing is, like, right now, if I were to give you guys an assessment, say, ask yourself, on a scale from 0 to 10, how good do you think you are in your profession? Like, how much do you know your shit? Most of you are going to give yourselves an 8 or above, right? And yet, by the time you finish this book, you'll look back on what you know today about your business, and you'll give yourself a 6. To quote Ray Dalio from the book Principles, if you can look back on your life 1 year and not realize how stupid you are, you didn't learn anything.
I just saw that quote the other day.
Yeah,
That's a
yeah.
good quote, man.
And that's kind of how this is, because what happens is when you write the book, it forces you to become better at your own craft, because you do things that you know you probably should have done, but you've not done, and now you got to do them, and it forces you to get better. And now all of a sudden, by the time you've finished the book, your knowledge about that topic is so far ahead of what's in the book that you read the book and you go, I don't even read this. I'm so much smarter than this now. It's a weird phenomenon. Yeah. So she'll probably still get the end of the one and she'll go, I'm better than this. No, she is. Yeah, man.
Are they fiction or nonfiction?
They're fiction.
Okay.
Yeah, very
Do you need
cool.
to worry about any of the things like citing sources and
Yes.
like
Yeah, you don't want to just make shit up.
That's another thing that I do. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's another thing I do is I think, okay, legally, am I doing this right?
Well, okay, so there's a difference between legally. You're talking about fashion, so there is really not. You don't have to worry about falling under any criteria of what's legal. You're stating your opinion on what looks good and what doesn't look good, and if you're citing sources but not really citing them accurately, I don't think you're going to get arrested. If you're citing sources and they're not accurate, she might be putting herself up for a lawsuit, right? Yeah, so
Especially since I live in a red
you're
state.
lucky that you're in a profession which is not regulated by the government or anything like
Right.
that. So I think you're fine. And yeah, cite your sources. I mean, it's worth doing that. Now, if you're talking about putting quotes in your book and just think, well, if I can steal a segment from an article and then just cite it, that's not legally allowed. In fact, Tony Robbins actually got sued when he wrote his book Unlimited Power, because in Unlimited Power, he put this thing called the 6-step reframe in there, and he said by Richard Bandler, and he listed it word for word out of Richard's document. Richard sued him, and he won.
That's the NLP guy, right?
The CNLP guy, yeah, and he won because he could, because he literally, I mean, his book admitted that he stole it. It said by Richard Bandler. So just citing somebody's name isn't legally allowed. There is a criteria for what that is. I don't know how many words it has to be before you have to have written permission and whatnot. But if you're citing more than just a couple sentences, like more than a quote of somebody, you definitely want to get their permission.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes.
So when you talked about editor, like hiring an editor,
Yep.
what roughly would that cost?
You're going to need 2 editors. So there's what they call a line edit editor, which kind of looks at the grammar, and then there's a proofreader, which looks at the typing. And I will tell you that very rarely is one editor good at both. One's either good at grammar but not good at finding typos, or one's good at finding typos but not good at fixing the grammar. So you'll hire both of those.
And there's Jody.
And then there's Jody, who is just a grammar Nazi. She's my comma Nazi, actually. She will find every missing comma out there.
What about exclamation points?
And as far as the cost goes, for both, somewhere between $500 to $1,000, but it really depends upon your book, the topic, their expertise, so you kind of find around.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
All in, if you don't hire a ghostwriter, by the way, you're going to spend probably $500 for a cover design, probably $1,000 for some editors. Tack on another $500 just for miscellaneous weird expenses. So you're probably into the book for a couple grand if you're just doing the whole thing on your own and self-publishing. Yeah. If you're going to go with a hybrid publisher, you're going to put another $5,000 on top of that.
So $5,000 on top of like editing, which is $1,000.
Roughly, might be more, might be less. Depends on.
And then what was the other cost?
Graphic design for the cover, the book cover. It's about $500. You'll get a fair good book cover for $500.
So like $6,500, or like $7,000 with a hybrid.
If you go hybrid publishing, like using a Morgan James or something like that on average. Yeah.
And you said on hybrid they put it out in bookstores, right?
Yeah, correct. Yeah. Well, it depends on which ones there are, but yes, like whenever I say hybrid, I'm pretty much always referring to Morgan James because they've done 2 of my books and I'm pretty loyal with them. But yeah, they've got me in every book. Well, not every. I'm in 300 Barnes and Nobles right now as a test run, and then if those books sell, then they'll put them in all of them. Yeah. So at the end of the day, the book gets in bookstores if it's a good book and people buy it.
But then how do you generate money from that?
I get a royalty for every book that's sold. So Morgan James is my publisher, and they send me a royalty payment every quarter
So
for.
it's like a revenue share, like so they get money from the sale of the book. And you
They get the majority of it.
They get the majority of it.
Yeah, I get a couple bucks a book. Yeah, I don't know exactly how much it is.
Do you think it's worth? Do you get your $5,000 back?
You probably won't. You're probably not going to sell that many books to get your $5,000 back. It's really a marketing play and a prestige play to be in the bookstores.
Have your name out there.
Yeah. Now, it also depends upon how many book signings you do. So, like, if you really get aggressive and you go to every Barnes & Noble in the state of Florida and you just go hammer, 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 well, they'll be buying 30 to 50 books per bookstore, and that'll start to add up if you just keep doing the book signings at bookstores. That's the cool thing about the publisher, by the way, is you go through a publisher, then they just call them and they order usually between 30 to 50 books for every book signing. And then you're making, you're selling the books and it's getting up there and it's getting the rankings, which is kind of cool. It's fun from a repurposing perspective. But you really look at it as a marketing play to get those photographs of you standing with the Barnes & Noble behind you with a line of people ready and you're doing the autographs. It's all that kind of stuff that it's really good. So do I get my money's worth? Yes. Do I get a financial ROI and make my $5,000 back? Well, I shouldn't.
Unless it becomes a bestseller.
And that's the thing. If it does, I mean, Morgan James has probably, I think they have 16 New York Times best-selling books under their belt right now. Oh, right. So those took off and they made thousands. Yeah. Tim Ferriss used to go with go with Morgan James, and then one of his books hit, and then they republished it as the 4 Hour Workweek with Simon & Schuster, or whoever it was, and took off. Brandon Bouchard was with Morgan James for his first book, and then as a result got $1 million advance from Simon & Schuster for his second book, moved over to Simon & Schuster. It's kind of like a growth accelerator for authors. Yeah.
It's like an indie label.
Yeah, it is, kind of.
I know said you're going to discuss this, but how do we pitch forward?
How do you pitch forward?
Pitch forward, like say forward by.
Oh, gotcha. I'll just send you guys an email script for that one, and we're going to deal with that. So what we're going to start, by the way, starting this next Wednesday, we're going to have our book publishing webinars where you guys can tune in at 10 a.m. every Wednesday to freeconferencecall.com. And it's literally a pep talk. That's what it is. I get on the phone, I give you a theme that we're going to talk about, and I say, got any questions, challenges, what are your frustrations? And then each week there's a different theme. So in fact, here, I'll tell you what those are. Actually, if you'd like to know. Good question, Caesar. Here's the pattern of the webinars. So the first week, first 3 are real pep talks. It's write your draft, write your first draft, right? So I'll be addressing why are you not writing, why are you not getting those kind of things, what kind of games is your mind playing with you as you get through this process. You're going to have a different mental game you're playing week 1 versus week 2 versus week 3, and we'll overcome all those things. Then week 4, we get into writing the first draft edit, where you'll hire an editor to go through. Actually, you don't even hire an editor there. You edit that one because it's really just about chunking and sequencing. You're going to read through the book and see, are there any big holes? Is it in the right order? Should I move chapter 3 to chapter 7 and chapter 7 to chapter 2? So just moving stuff around. Once you do that, you're going to go into the second draft, where now you're going to hire somebody to go through the line edits, and you're going to hire somebody to, you're not going to hire the proofreaders, you're just going to do the line edits. Then from there, you're going to go to peer review and forward selection, and I'll share with you guys how to get a forward for somebody to write your book. And the cool thing about the peer review is that they become your typo editor. Yep, so this is why we wait to hire the typo until the very end, because your friends love telling you about typo on page 32, right? So free labor. So people are reviewing your book, marking up all the typos, giving it to you for free. You can fix those kind of things. Then it costs you less when you give it to the typo editor, because most of them are already cleaned up at that point in time, thanks to your friends and family. Then after the peer review, you go into your final draft, and at that point in time, you go into editing and layout, cover design, promoting and booking, marketing your book, and then the book launch at 11. And we'll do a big group. We do a collaborative book launch. If you've never seen ours that we do, they're awesome. So we do a collaborative book launch. We do it at the top floor of the Bank of America building at Sunset. It's badass. We get 10 of our KPI authors all at one to throw a big party, and you'll have 300 to 400 people show up for your book launch, and you'll sell a ton of books. It's pretty fun. Yeah, it's pretty badass. And everybody gets to talk and tell the entire audience what their book is about. And then you get this mad rush of people coming to your table to buy the books, and it's pretty cool. We bring in a photographer and get all the shots and stuff. And it's pretty awesome, actually. Pretty fun. All right, let's talk about the reasons why you don't want to do it. I want to cover these real quickly, and then I want to get you into writing, right? So that's the goal. So number 1 we talked about is that it's a huge commitment. Yes, but it's a game changer, so it's worth that commitment. Number 2, people go, yeah, but it's a lot of work. Yep, and it's going to be something that you'll be exceptionally proud of as a business owner, to have this work of art done. It's something that just, I got to tell you, it'll feel damn good. Number 3, it's not easy to do, especially if you don't follow our plan. If you don't follow our 12-week plan, it gets really hard. But if you follow our plan, at best you'll curse my name a couple of times, because it's going to suck. I mean, you know, on a Sunday night, you're going to want to just sit back and have a glass of wine and watch Stranger Things on Netflix, and you know somebody's going to text you in the group, or I'm going to text you, and you're going, oh shit. You got to put the wine glass down, open up your laptop, and type out 1,500 words before you watch that show. Number 4, it takes time. Yes, it requires scheduled effort. And what I'd recommend is you tell every single person in your office, this is important to me, and I need you to support me. Don't talk to me. Don't interrupt me. When I'm doing my authorship writing, I need you to just leave me the hell alone. If you got family, you go to your kid. You know, how old's your daughter, Stacey? 14?
15.
How much?
15.
15. You know, she's old enough. She knows, right? So you can just say, honey, this is really important to me. But by the way, utilize your parenting as a leverage point. How many here are parents in the room? All right. Best thing you could do is go to your kids and say, listen, I'm embarking on a journey for the next 3 weeks, which is going to require me to write a certain number of words every day. Every single night, I want you to come to me at 8 p.m. and ask me how many words I've written in the last 24 hours. And if I've not written at least 1,600 words, I'm doubling your allowance. Or if I've not done 1,600 words, you get to pick where we go to eat. Right? Have some fun with them. You know, you get to be the parent for the next 3 weeks and hold me accountable. Think you could do that? Every kid will step up. And I got to tell you, no parent I know wants to let their kids down. You'll let me down hundreds of times. You don't care. You won't lose a bit of sleep. But you do not want to let your kids down, right? So use that as a leverage tool. And it's a great lesson for you from a parenting perspective to talk about how let them see what it's like to work for something that's hard and takes a lot of sacrifice and stress. It'll teach them a really cool subconscious lesson. Number 5, I'm not good enough or I'm worthy. Who am I to write a book? It's not going to be that good, right?
Does anybody want to read it?
Yeah, first off, it doesn't matter if anybody reads it or not. It gives you still credibility whether they do or don't. But remember this, you know, I mean, stop comparing yourself to J.K. Rowling, for crying out loud. We're not trying to create a bestseller here. We're trying to create a credibility builder. Now, if something happens and it takes off and it becomes a bestseller, that's great. But this is a book that is allowing you to feature you and your expertise. Number 6, I'm not that interesting. My topic's boring. It's IT. Who's going to want to read a book about IT? Guess what? You know, people at Disney say the same thing about their job. And I'll bet you we would love to sit here and listen to a story about somebody who picks up trash at Disney. Tell me about the weirdest thing you've ever found in a trash can, right? I mean, we get a kick out of it. Like, oh, it's so boring, right? It's only boring because you do it every day. It really isn't boring. Number 7, there's already 68,000 books on the same subject. Why do I need another one? Well, because there's not one that has your opinion on it, and that's the important thing. And that's what's important about this, is that this is a book about your opinion, nobody else's. This is what you feel is important in your business. So stick to the plan. That's the key. All right, let's get you caught up on diamond maps real quickly. Actually, let's take a break, and then we're going to come back, and we're going to start writing, and we're going to get our plans done as much as possible. So 15-minute break starts now. All right, let's get everybody caught up that wasn't here last week about what the hell a diamond map is.
Excuse me.
Because it's not, well, actually, you probably already kind of figured it out. All right, so a diamond map is a technique that Donna, who is our mentor, created in order for her to write her books. And so the way the diamond map works is very simple. The name of your chapter, whatever it's tentatively titled, would go inside the diamond. And then you've got 6 points to branch off of. These would be your 6 subtitles inside the chapter. And then it gives you room to write 5 subpoints inside the subtitles. If you were to fill this out for one chapter, you've pretty much got your marching orders for everything you need to put into that book. Then what you do is just sit down, and the cool thing about this is you can sit down and go, which one do I want to write today? Not, oh, well, this is chapter 1, I have to write chapter 1. You can look through your chapters and go, this is the one I'm inspired to write today. Out of that, which are these 6 titles? Oh, I like this title. That's the one you write. It'll help you to prevent writer's block. If you try writing the book from page 1 through page 200, you'll get writer's block. But you just want to write. And whatever's calling you to that day, that's the stuff to write. Then you put it in the right order later. Now, I will tell you, there is a software that I recommend you guys get. And the software, what's that?
I'm all about technology.
Yeah. I do have an affiliate program with these guys, so I'll email you guys the links if you want to. I'll show it to you on iPad, although I've not even used it on my new iPad, so it may not be a good demonstration of it.
That's the one I've heard of. Yeah.
Yep, it's called Scrivener. So, Scrivener. I'll send you guys a link to where you can buy it if you want to, and I think I've actually got a discount link as well, but it's not much. It's about $40 for software. I will tell you right now, Pages on Mac or Word on PC are terrible softwares to use for writing a book. And the reason for that is because you never are going to write it. It's never going to stay in the order that you write it. And so now what do? Do you create a different document per chapter? Well, then how do you get section 2 in chapter 3 over to section 7 in chapter 8? You got to cut and paste and then delete that and then open that one. It's just a real pain in the ass. Scrivener is designed to write books. And it is a book writing software, which means it is not intuitive, because intuitive is to start at page 1 and work through page 200. But what it allows you to do, and I will tell you that the iPad version is different than the actual PC version, which is very complex.
I don't understand with Scrivener, you get a 30-day free trial and you're supposed to have your book done in 3 weeks, so you can actually essentially write an entire book. So,
If I'm not mistaken, though, it will have a watermark over every single page unless you decide to buy it anyway. But the cool thing about the software, and I can't really demonstrate it or show you here on the screen, is that what it does is it allows you to, so you'll have on the left-hand side, you have your outline, which is chapter, subtitle, all your subtitles. You can really just take all your diamond maps and install it into the thing. And then with the click of either just literally click drag, you can move section 4, chapter 2, up to section 7, chapter 3, and it just moves everything up there. It also gives you, it's not here on this software, but it also has, it has a corkboard with like postcards and stuff on it. Let's see if I can pull one up here.
Is this what your wife used on?
no, actually, my wife wrote her entire book basically using Word
Yeah, it's tough.
and a pen.
Oh, wow.
She wrote a large portion of that book in several different
Format?
spiral notebooks.
Oh,
Just
wow.
What'd she
hammering it
write
out.
about?
She wrote a basically a novel. It's a fiction novel.
Wow.
I can't do it. I haven't set it up yet. So
346 pages, I think, her first book.
yeah, well done. Yeah.
So is that cloud-based between your phone and?
Yeah, it'll sync up and everything, so you can whatever you're there, typing there, you can type
She sold
here.
1,000 copies.
That, by the way, that's pretty impressive. Most people don't sell that many.
Yeah, she's got. I think
That's
right
good.
now she's still got a current like 4.8 out of 5 on Goodreads.
Yeah, it's nice.
So
Anyway, I do recommend Scrivener. It allows you to kind of have, like, you can have these little Post-its, and you can click and drag them and move them around. For citing sources, you can cite stuff, and then it automatically puts in all the end notes and the subnotes and stuff. There's a learning curve to it. There's a software called, there's a Scrivener Coach, I think it's scrivenercoach.com. The software is like $40, but the coaching guy is like $200, and it was so worth the $200 because I didn't have a clue how to use Scrivener, and then I watched his tutorials, and every tutorial is like 2 minutes long on every single topic, so you can just watch the ones that you need to. It's absolutely, I've got an affiliate link for that one as well. It's absolutely worth the $200 to get the Scrivener Coach if you're going to be using it.
Scrivo Pro?
Yeah, but I haven't set it up yet. I could show you there, but I'm recording this conversation, so once we pause it, then I can show you guys later. At the end of the day, I'll show you the software. It's absolutely worth buying, though. For the $40-50 that the software is, it's worth it.
Yeah, I read
Yep.
on it. I asked a couple people about it, and they said it was awesome. I mean, I was in a forum.
Yeah, it's a weird learning curve, though, because it's not intuitive. It's not like a word processor. It is not a word processor. It is a book processor. So it does think differently than normal. Like, you kind of look at it and go, what the hell is this?
Right.
But and they use a little bit too much jargon for it, but it's absolutely worth it. It's the only way I write books nowadays. And the one thing that I love about it, there's two things that I think make it all worthwhile. Two things. Number one, it has a typewriter distraction-free mode where the entire screen is blank. There's nothing other than you type, and as you type, it keeps your line in the center of the document, and it scrolls up as you type, and there's nothing to distract you. It's beautiful. And when you're in that mode, you get emails, text messaging, nothing comes through. It's pretty cool.
That's cool.
The other thing that I love about it is it has a word goal progress bar. So even if the only thing that will show up in the typewriter mode is your progress bar. So let's say you put down that you want to write 1,500 words today. You type that as your daily goal. As you're typing, this little bar goes from red to orange to yellow to lime to full-on green when you hit your goal. And there's something so ridiculously motivating about watching that little bar move while you're typing that, like, if you're like me where you're completion oriented, you start to obsess on that little bar you're like, I don't want to fucking drink, I don't want to do anything, I want to get this thing up to the green as quickly as you possibly can. And that one thing alone inspires me to write way faster than I normally would. And the cool thing is, then if you get to the where it's all the way green, then you go, screw it, I'm going to change it to 2,000. You just change the number to 2,000 and it shrinks it right back down to the appropriate number where you're at, and then you can build it back up. And it's real. Those two features alone worth the $50 for the software.
I love that.
Yeah.
It's like Rocky running up the steps, you know. Everybody's cheering him on.
Yeah, it's really cool. Yeah. So today, what we want all of your diamond maps done. Now, by the way, you don't have to do a diamond map. Okay, so Don, you weren't here. It doesn't have to be a diamond map. You can do really 3 things. You can do a mind map, which is like the bubbles and the arrows and all the different things. That's cool. You can do an outline where you just got, here's my 12 chapters, here's my subtitles, here's the topics that are going to be in there, right? You want to get as detailed as you possibly can. You want 3 levels deep. Chapter, subtitle, subpoints in the subtitle. Everything should be 3 levels deep. If you get 3 levels deep on every point inside or every chapter, you will not get writer's block. You don't have to write it in order. You write what inspires you that day, and you just go for it. If you get halfway through and you go, I'm bored with this one, stop and go to another one and just keep on writing. Because if you're using Scrivener, you can just click right back up to that section and hit it and just start typing it. It's real
You have
cool.
to have 5 sub-bullets?
You don't. You might have
You have at least one, you say.
Yeah, ideally. Yeah, so if this is a chapter, if you have just 2 subtitles,
right,
that's
so
cool.
subtitling.
But chances are your subtitles will have 12 or 13 points, and that's cool too. You may have an entire thing here, and then you all of a sudden realize that actually this whole thing is actually one subsection in another chapter I've already written, and it just gets shuffled into that, and that's cool too. You don't have to only have 6. If you have 8, you can just go grab a second piece, or you can draw a vertical line here. And I don't care. You know, there's no rule here. You're not diffusing a bomb. You're just writing. And that's all we want you to do. A couple things when you write, never edit while you write. Yeah, if you see the gross, obvious typo, go ahead and fix it. But you don't want to go back and reread what you've written and then try to start editing at that point in time. Just flow. Just let it go. Don, if you're writing something, you go, I know this will never pass HR. This is absolutely illegal for me to say.
Right.
I don't care. Just keep going for it.
I don't,
Yeah, just write with it.
I'm telling you, that's going to be hard.
Yeah.
I'm way too OCD for that.
Well, then,
That's gonna be
I get that. And by the way, keep in mind, I mean, it's easy for me to speak from the bleachers here, but I tend to find myself doing those things as well. But as best you can, discipline yourself just to write. Today,
2 mindsets, right? And if you believe it and hammer it all out,
Yeah.
and then after you go, and trust me, I went from taking 16 hours to write a blog post, now I'm down to between 2 to 4. But I would do the same thing, man. That sentence sucks.
Yeah.
You know, it's
just write it.
I mean, I did that already in the outline that I did. I was
Sure.
Nope.
Yep.
And it's just an outline, and I
Yeah.
still did that.
You'll do that, but just do yourself, just watch yourself and kind of guard it as best you can. Yep. So today it's all about the outline. That's it. So let me visualize this for you here. So if you're doing a normal outline, you want to have chapter 1, and then you want to have a subtitle. And then you want to have points. So you might have 6 points, or 5, or whatever it is, per subtitle. Then you'll have another subtitle. And you'll have another 6 subpoints. So this is how the diamond map looks like as an outline. And so on, right? So each chapter might be a separate page, and here's the chapter title, here's the subtitle, subtitles, here's the subpoints. Don't get caught up on the actual words. The title will change, the subtitles will change. It's really just about topic-centric versus actual literal titles or whatnot. If you're doing a mind map, you want to go 3 levels deep.
Can you say that again? I'm sorry. I was hearing you, but I don't quite understand. So don't get hung up on the
Well, okay, so let's say the title of the, so I'm writing a book on how to build the best small business city. So it's going to be tentatively called Small Business City.
Okay.
All right? So chapter 1 in Small Business City has to be down with regulation. So then my first subtitle is permits and pains. And then the subpoints to that would be building permits, renovation permits, commercial construction, residential construction, and ADA compliance. I have no idea, I'm just making this shit up, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Then my next subtitle is going to be called, let's see, is it down with regulation? The next one is going to be called tax incentives or tax benefits. So then I'm going to talk about government grants. I'm going to talk about blah, 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 right? I don't care if if at the end of the day, once the editing's done, maybe that's not called permits and pains. Maybe it's called pains and permits. Or maybe it's called the pains of having a permit. We'll worry about that later in editing. This is just for me to understand what's the topic at hand. That's it.
I see. Okay.
Yeah, get the idea? If you're doing an outline, sorry, that's an outline. If you're doing a mind map, you've got your chapter title, and then you've got 6 subtitles. And then from the 6 subtitles, you've got, so that's your subtitle, and then you've got your other ones, right? So there's your subtitle. You guys get the idea, right? So you want it 3 levels deep: chapter, subtitle, points. Chapter, subtitle, points. Over here, you've got, in the diamond, you've got chapter, subtitle, and then points are those little 5 dots there. So your goal today is to get your book done chapter, subtitle, and hopefully even the points.
Do you think, am I gonna go into like further subpoints? Do you think that's confusing things?
No, if you can go 4 levels, and then
Okay.
and then with the point, you have a 2 or 3 sentences.
Yeah.
Great.
Okay.
Because literally, you'll start cutting and pasting those, and you'll be surprised how you'll start to write your book.
Okay.
Yeah, not a problem. So here's what I'm going to recommend. Can I task you guys for something? Give me your phones. Let's just get rid of them.
All right, let me make sure my daughter's.
Yeah.
I know, I'm like, let me just look for a picture.
Yeah, of course. You know, you got to sniff the cocaine before you handle it back. The addictions. Look at that. All right, cool. So we're going to go for deep work. Turn off your Wi-Fi, and let's go for. It's 3:30 now. It's 3:35. Let's go till 4. That's 25 minutes of uninterrupted focus. Okay. All right. 25 minutes. I'm going to head next door. This is today's first day for me. I'll just take my phone. So I'll see you guys in 25 minutes.
Do you have more of these?
I have tons of them.
Yeah, I was just
Hold
gonna
on,
say.
not trust
And
me.
how many of these do we think we need? How many chapters are we looking
So ideally, the higher level above that would be sections. So you might have like 3 sections, 4 chapters per section. If you have a book that has 12 chapters, you've got a good book.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what they're saying. Like, it's all main cranker.
All right, guys, here are some diamond maps for you. If you guys run out of these and you need more, just holler. I'm happy to get you more. So take as many of them as you like. I'll see you guys in 25 minutes.
Who else wants these?
I'm all set.
Yeah, right?
Oh, yeah. Somebody texted.
Can't you just stream it through your laptop?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is probably all still being recorded, Grant.
I passed out your checklist for publish, which I should have actually given to you guys at the end of publish day. I apologize, but it really didn't matter one way or the other today. And then, so this is also in the back of your e-think books. It's there, but most people just never get the last page, so I want to make sure you have that. This is a good thing to keep on your desk, have here. You also should have your pitch checklist as well. I'd love for you guys to go through that. If you need to find it again, let me know. I can either print it to you, send it to you, or you could just get it off of the digital ThinkBook. It's there. But this is just a great way for you to measure your progress and how you guys are doing through the program. This is just a good one to keep handy for the next 12 weeks. And you want to, basically within the next 12 weeks, you want to have every one of these things checked off. And to the degree you check them off, you'll be getting them done. A couple of things here. You guys did really well. Was this worth your time to get here and just stay focused in doing this? Yeah?
Sure.
So let me ask you a question. What made this so effective today?
I think having to be here and isolating the time.
Yep, like having it on the calendar,
Yeah.
getting out of your office, getting here, being supported by people on a common goal. That all works. I'll tell you, my biggest challenge on getting my writing done, so I'm saying this from a very greedy perspective, is that I get distracted just like you guys do. And it's really easy for me to sit there and think 2 hours a day, I'll book it, I don't book it, I don't get it done. So I know for me personally that I do better if I've got people supporting me and writing with me. So I'm going to be offering you guys the ability, if you want, to go through a writing accountability with me personally, to where we can meet up at the end of the day and we can write for an hour a day. Yep. So if you guys are up for that, I'll do it, but I don't want to just say I'm going to be here and then nobody show. Right?
Yeah, that'd be annoying.
Yep. So would you guys be better? Would you guys rather get here and write like at 7:30 or 8 o'clock in the morning for an hour, or would you rather come here after work like at 5:30 and work until 7 or 6:30? What works better for you guys? And we'll just kind of just see how this works and see which, because I can probably do either one.
I'm in St. Pete, so I'm just thinking like traffic and whatnot. It's like, this is every day of the week?
Just for 3 weeks.
Just for 3 weeks. If I were to vote, I would have to do it. I'd have to probably do it in the evening. Yeah.
Evening? Okay. What do you guys think? Evening better or morning?
I can't, that's not even something I can.
Morning would have to, if you do it, it's going to have to be morning.
I'm in the office by 6:30, so,
Uh-huh.
you know, unfortunately, I have the UK office that I deal with, so my day starts 5 hours in advance.
Sure, yeah.
So,
Well, once again, this is not required. You don't have to be here. I'm just offering something to help you guys out. Certainly, the one advantage you have, Don, to this is that this is a task given to you by Rob.
right.
So this is something that you can very easily justify. Hey guys, I'm shutting my doors.
Well,
This
yeah,
is what I got to
mean,
get
I
done.
can certainly justify it, but
Yeah.
Again, the value add, you know, go back to what you just said, the value add of being here today was
Yeah.
the fact that I stepped out.
Yeah.
And I'm not speaking for everybody, but I can tell you that the 4 hours here, those 4 hours didn't go away from me. That is now 4 hours that I absolutely now have to address
Right.
a whole bunch of things that happened
Sure.
the last 4 hours.
Yeah.
So,
But the good news is it'll only take you an hour to address the 4 hours worth of addressing.
I wish that was true.
Yeah, it will.
I wish that was true.
But you want to know something though, going back to
Well,
what
let's
you
just
said
focus
at the
this. Evening
beginning?
or morning? What works better for you guys?
I can come every day, but I can come a couple days a week.
Don't expect you to do it every day either. Yep.
5:30, you said? Which time did you say?
Yeah, 5:30.
5:30, like Tuesday, Thursday, or something like that.
Okay.
Monday,
So it sounds like
Wednesday,
evenings are
something like
better?
I won't be able to do either. But
Okay. Would you do either one? Okay.
yeah, I'm over in Palm Harbor with my daughter.
We can do that.
I can't do either.
Yeah. All right. So here's what I'll do. I'm happy to just schedule the time, but I want you guys showing up if you're going to say you're doing it. That's the key thing for me because I'm going through this process as well. So it doesn't have to be a regular amount. We could literally pick days, but if we want to start doing this, then next Tuesday is the 14th. So I've got Mayor's Neighborhood University, which starts at 6 o'clock. So I can't do next Tuesday. I could do Monday, and I could do Thursday, but I have evening events both Tuesday and Wednesday. Oh, do you guys need your phones?
I have an event Tuesday and Thursday.
Who's this?
Mine.
I'll take that one.
No.
That's definitely John, so.
Oh, little Blaine.
That's me. The next one's mine. Thank you, sir.
That one's probably mine.
There we go.
All right. And listen, if you guys get to one of them a week, well, that's better than nothing.
I can do Thursday.
By the way, I'm cool doing them on the weekends too. By the way, I have no life.
Yeah, and I could bang out on a Saturday as well.
I'm cool doing Saturdays. Okay, so 5:30 on Thursday.
I've got something every night next week.
Okay.
Can't do that one.
Yeah, I meet with a lot of my clients in off hours.
Sure.
So like every night next week and Saturday I'm booked.
All right. You want to go next Saturday?
I have a 10 a.m. and a 3 p.m.
Like what would we do? By the way, I'm cool
Saturday.
doing like 3-4 hour jam sessions on the weekends as well, if that works for you guys. I want to support you guys in whatever way it takes, and if it means scheduling individual 1 hour session with you guys, bonus for me because I'll get my shit done. Right? I don't care. I just know how I work.
Yeah, and I can do Saturday too. I definitely want to get this done.
All right. You want to do Saturday?
Yep.
Okay.
What time are you doing Saturday?
So my next Saturday.
You're talking about the 18th?
Yeah.
You tell me which ones you're doing. All the ones you're scheduling with everybody else, I'll show up to one or two of those.
Oh, cherry picker. You've got an answer for everything. Definitely a marketing guy.
Yeah. My parents hated me.
Oh wow, my calendar just synced. I'm this next Thursday. I'm in Tennessee.
All right, it's a long flight for me, but I'll do it, Topher.
That's weird. All right, so Saturday the 18th. I'd rather kind of get it done in the morning.
Okay. What time?
Yeah.
Morning is subjective to certain people.
Yes. So how about like 9 o'clock Monday morning?
Okay, that works.
Yeah. I'm a morning person, so I get up at 5 every day. Let's go from 9 till noon.
Okay.
Does that work for you guys?
That's on Saturday?
That's on Saturday the 18th, 9 to noon. If you can make it, great. But let me know one way or the other because I got to hold you accountable
No.
for that. No?
No.
Okay.
I'll make it, but I'll be here at Atlanta at 9 in the morning.
What's that?
I land on Saturday at 9 in the morning.
Get here late. That's all right. It's good. I admire that. All right.
Cool.
So it's 2 people?
Yep, I'm in.
My mom's in town. I haven't
Yep.
seen my mom since July. So.
No, family always comes first.
And I'm a mama's boy.
You send me an invite, I think I can.
All right, so let's talk about some strategies because if you guys find that if you're sitting there going, man, it's gonna be hard coming up with 2 hours a day, right? First off, that's the only way to do it. Stacey, you could speak to this. The person who wants to work out and fit it in around their day never ends up working out, right?
Mm-hmm.
They have
Absolutely.
to work their day
Schedule.
around their workout. This is the exact same mentality. You really
Right.
have to work your day around the book. So if you can't get 2 hours in, you could do 4 30-minute segments. Oftentimes people get more productive if they do it that way anyway. So look at your calendar right now and start booking out things starting on Monday in 30-minute segments, 1 hour segments, or 2 hour segments. Whether I'm a part of that or not, this is a crucial thing for you guys to do right now and see if you can book out as many days as possible Monday through Friday this next week. I'm going to be doing the same thing right now. I think I'm just going to give up my
Can I ask you
reading.
a question? Because I don't know if you have this or not, but I run into this where, like the week of Thanksgiving, nobody wants to see me.
Right. It's like the perfect
So
opportunity,
like
right?
I'm so booked next week,
Uh-huh.
and then the week after that, I'm like free and like nobody wants to do anything
Yeah.
that week. So is it fair to balance the time that way?
It is, and
Or-
here's what I'd recommend. So now we go back to Karen Rowe. Remember, she came out for Publishing Day, and she gave you guys a great tip. Do you remember what her writing challenge was for you guys per day? 7 minutes.
Really?
Everybody's got 7 minutes. So if you book 7 minutes to write, now what ends up happening is that 7 usually turns into 15, 20, 30, you get on a roll, right?
Yeah.
Like you guys probably didn't even want to stop when I said, all right, let's just stop. You're like, I'm on a roll, right? So if you just challenge yourself to do it for 7 minutes every day, or 7 minutes in the morning, 7 minutes in the afternoon, you'll probably end up writing more. For you, since you are so busy, not busy enough that you couldn't get 7 minutes in, though.
Right, right.
Because what we want to do is we want inertia to work in our favor, not against us. So if you just hold off until after Thanksgiving, first off, now you're going to feel behind the 8 ball. But even 7 minutes a day is going to give you a tremendous benefit.
Just at least get something in.
Get something in. Like, I don't
Okay.
want you guys
And
to
then
go
I
a
can book
day.
more time the next week.
Yeah.
Like, it's okay to balance.
Exactly.
that.
Now,
Okay.
weekends, listen, those are your times to play and relax, and I get that, but if you can come in, great, that's cool too. But Monday through Friday, you want to be putting something on that board, even if it's a couple hundred words. Yeah,
Okay.
it just keeps the momentum going, and it lets you, starts to discipline, you build up faster writing times and everything else. Remember, you can also speak it. Yep. So you may decide after the first week, wow, this is hard. Switch over to speaking, and for the amount of money you have to pay for transcribing, it's well worth it. And believe it or not, you'd be able to very easily talk on these kind of subpoints if you just have your chapter map, your diamond map, and you go, okay, today I want to talk about, subtopic number 3, and then you just kind of free associate and talk. You get a lot done. It's amazing how fast you can get this done. By the way, how do we count word counts for recordings? That still counts for word counts. So if you guys do a recording, you don't have to wait until you get it transcribed to turn it in, because that might screw you at the last 3 or 4 days if it's taking a couple days. So what we do is we just average 150 words a minute. So if you talk for 10 minutes, you can give yourself a 1,500 word count that day, and we just take you at face value that that's probably roughly how you're doing. Yep. Don, you're from New York. You talk 200 words a minute. You still give you the 150.
I get told to slow down every day.
Yeah, yeah. Lewis, same thing for you.
Yeah.
You're probably 250 minute. So am I.
think
But we just give an average of 150.
Even in my script that I emailed you, I just noticed that I parentheses, like in every other sentence, I was like, slow.
Slow down.
I have to take it out.
Yeah. All I can say, guys, is really make this a priority. It's not a convenience. If you make it a convenience, it'll never happen. If you make it a priority, you absolutely will. And this first week is a critical one, even if it's just 7 minutes a day, because you get this first week done and you go, oh, I'm feeling it. Most people tend to, and this Tim Ferriss explains this in his book 4 Hour Workweek, wait until the very last minute to start putting things out. So no matter how much productivity I get out of you guys this first week, I know that it's going to be nothing compared to what's going to happen in week 3. So that's where we really want it. But the last thing you want to do is miss it by 700 words. It was a real painful day for those people in KPI 5, I think, that missed it by 700 words. They were not happy with themselves.
700 times, like something to get.
I mean, literally 700 words with 15 people is
man.
like nothing. That's like that's like 2 tweets each, right? It's like nothing. So get in your calendar here, start putting some times down. I think I'm just going to do mine from 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. every morning.
That's what I've got down.
Yeah. I think it's the easiest thing for me to do. In fact, I could probably do 5:30.
If I get comfortable with the recorded part, for as long as it takes me to get to the office in the morning, I could be banging out stuff in my drive.
Yep. Absolutely, you
That's
could.
true, man. That's a good call.
Yeah, most people, I've seen people write their whole books in the car.
As have I.
They just transcribe it out. And as long as you're using a headset so it's safe, I mean, be smart about it, right? You'd be good to go.
You say December 8th is the
They still
cutoff?
count towards word count, though.
Say that again?
Did you say December 8th?
December 4th is the cutoff.
Okay.
Yeah, so December 4th at 8 p.m. is the cutoff date.
Yeah, I know if I slack, I will.
I got to tell you, this is building anxiety in me right now, just sacrificing my reading for writing. Because I'm
That's
so
where you're
addicted.
breaking your routine.
Yeah, because I'm so addicted to reading an hour and a half every morning. It hurts. But I know I got to get this done.
Is there a way on Scrivener to see what your total word count is?
Yep.
I see it's per section, but I can't.
Yeah, if you click, did you already download it?
Yeah, trial version.
Yeah, there you go. So you go up here, you just click on manuscript, and that'll give you the total word count. Somewhere. And somewhere.
Okay. Thanks. All right, halfway there.
Also, another good thing to kind of get you guys started, remember to go back and look at your blogs and see what information you've got there that you can actually repurpose and cut and paste and stick into the system as well. That'll help you. Tonight, I will send you the Scrivener link, and I'll send you the Scrivener coach link if you guys are interested in getting that. And I might even have time. I'll do a screencast and show you how to find that progress bar and set the system as well. but it really makes writing fun. That's the only way I can describe it. Yeah.
What would you recommend for like imagery? You want imagery here?
He talks about in Scrivener Coach, you can actually upload the images inside to, there's a place for image pane, and you just put a place where, and the whole system understands where every image goes. So when you export it, it just incorporates all of it into the document.
What does that do to the printing cost?
What's that?
Images, like is that?
If it's black and white, there's no difference in cost.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
But if you're printing actual photos and you want like a glossy page or you want color, then it cha-ching. Yeah, we had Michael McCoy just finished his book. Very small, thin book because it's all pictures.
Right.
It's like $13 a copy.
Yeah.
It's full color.
Yeah.
It's a gorgeous book.
But you're gonna pay for it.
Got to pay for it. So, all right. Yep, I'm going to do mine every day.
So is this outline also kind of like a living document, or is it better to leave it alone?
No, let it live.
Okay.
Yeah, you'll move some stuff around. It's all good.
So you want?
It's
you said you
living
want
all over the place. Right?
It's really getting around.
It is, yeah.
Want an outline submitted by Monday? You said Monday, an outline.
You want to have this whole thing outlined out by Monday. Yeah, so if you can upload that into it's just an accountability thing more than anything.